This is awesome. We are 6 minutes early, my man. You know what? That guy looks like Bourne. What's up? Here he is. There's the picture. I'm Jason DeBeas. This is supposed to start at 9, but me and Tri looked at each other and said, what if we don't want to wait till 9? Since we're podcasters and since he's a rock star and rock stars get to do whatever they want, we're going to start early. We're going to play my intro. Bourne, Jason DeBeas. The episode starts right now. Yeah, I really appreciated and wow, it works out at the end because I guess I wanted to start, but I really appreciated what Travis said about you. Because whatever anyone can say about you, they could never say you were not real. They could never say you were never your authentic self. I am a hater from New York, and real recognizes real. So, and it's something that I got from you right away. I'm not saying you're a classic introvert, but in the classic sense of the word, you're not like out there all, throwing yourself out there, because I don't think you're trying to be someone that you're not. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about that. We'll go split screen. There we go. Let's try. Since I'm teching my own show, that's the easiest way for us to remember.
Oh, no, you got it dialed in.
Nice. So, guys, Bourne's in the house. Aaron Wex has already joined the show. Cool. I like that.
Oh, yeah. We love Wex.
So, I put your life in the chapters. So, we're not chapters. It was like a book of 3 acts. Mm-hmm. And these acts have chapters.
Yeah.
Almost. I won't say a Shakespearean tragedy, but because your tragedy didn't happen at the end. So in Shakespeare, it always happens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they already accept the fact they're dead. But I'd like to start, with your permission.
Yeah.
From the recent. You decided you weren't going to play this year, right? What led you to that? I know there's a lot of volleyball politics and this and that. But there's also a physical thing. So I'm going to give you the floor a little bit. What led you to come to this thing where I'm like, oh, this is my last year?
Yeah. To be honest, I would say almost none of the politics part of it had to do with my decision. There's obviously a lot of factors where it's just life, right? We're growing up. We got new responsibilities and things going on. And all the factors contributed, but I'd say the main one would just be health overall. It was becoming harder and harder for me to stay healthy and manage not only the autoimmune stuff, that it was just like extra, it's already hard to be a pro athlete, especially as you're aging and getting injuries and whatnot. And then you throw in a few extra injuries. I tore my labrum in my hip this year. Or I guess it was already torn. I found out this year. Threw my back out twice, so I'm not in this AVP league thing. And then having another kid. And it was just like all these factors. And it's there's so much uncontrollables that it was like volleyball. And I had so many experiences already. I got so many of the experience. I checked almost all the boxes that I wanted to check. Certainly not all of them, but it was like, man, there's so much out of my control that keeps happening to stop me from like achieving these few boxes that I have left to check. And I'm like, I don't want to be so stubborn and keep just banging my head against the wall. Like, no, I have to check these boxes no matter what it takes, even if it's sacrificing time away from my family, even if it's sacrificing, my body's giving me these signs, and my body's kind of telling me like, hey, like we might need you to slow down or change or do it. And I'm like, I don't want to be that guy. Like, no, I'm not going to listen. No, I've learned, and it came from a lot of the lessons came from when I got that autoimmune disease the first time or the original time. Back in 2017-18, and I did a lot of mindfulness, deep dive, doing work on myself, and so I carried those lessons on, and as it got to this point where just things just kept stacking up, and there's so much out of my control. I only can control what I do when I step on the court, if I'm even able to step on the court, right? maybe COVID happens, or maybe, there's all these things that could happen, and injuries, or you have to rely on this partner of yours, right? And my goals are like ridiculously high where I set them. The only boxes that I had left to check were like
gold medal in the games.
Yeah, well, yeah. I wanted to qualify for the games with my partner and go there with the intention to win a medal and have that experience of like me and my team are going, like what me and Trevor and Jose were trying to do, what me and Evie and John were trying to do, what me and Cam and Travis were trying to do. So it was just like there kept being things that were out of my control that were happening and contributing to that, and I was like, man, if life's gonna kind of like just kind of show me these signs, and I'm gonna listen. And the signs just kept popping up, like
right,
like, oh my God, another thing, another thing. So, and I think I gained confidence in myself in this whole process, becoming the person that I became, right, as an athlete, and building this business behind me, this brand, but also putting that out on the court and actually delivering on some of the biggest stages. That was my goal. That was like a dream. It wasn't even a goal, really, to be honest, in the beginning. I just wanted to make AVP main draws and like be on tour at one point. And then it was like, I think I can maybe like compete and win. And then it was like, I already won. Like I won right away. So now I set the bar as like the highest of highest goals. So it was just a combination of things. It's just me listening to myself and doing the difficult thing of stepping away. It's not easy. I still there's so many parts of it that I love and miss. But those parts were becoming harder and harder to get to. Like, I just want to go out there and rep it out with a teammate that I know is on the same page as me and is capable and willing and able and has the confidence to compete on the stage that I want to compete on and achieve these goals. Like, we have to have these same goals. And I want to, I love working out. I love pushing my body in the gym and like going hard and playing with that comfort zone, right? Like that's where I feel like I make gains. And it was like, well, now we have to play that veteran, you have to back off a little, and that's fine. But I can't drive all the way up to my trainers anymore. It's an hour away, and like this isn't helping the hips, right? And we understood that. So he started coming down to me a bit, and we weren't going to let each other go. Like he was going to adapt to me and whatnot, but
that's a freaking trainer for you. I like that.
No, we're just, he's a staple.
What's his name?
Mikhail Jenkins.
Okay.
He's been a staple my whole career since I was with Hyden. And, but even that, like there was stuff getting in between us and making it harder and harder for us to train together to the best of our ability. So it was like, if I can't put my best self forward due to things that are out of my control, I don't want to be out there. I don't want to show, I only want to put my best forward. And if life's not going to let me do my best, and I don't mean that in a negative way, it's just like about listening. Like life changes and you have kids and priorities and you have to adapt. And I'm just not that guy. I'm not going to go out there and do you see these veterans who have had great careers, right? And they're playing for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years after their, what I would call prime window, right? Where they can achieve goals and things that they've never achieved before. That's not for me, dude. Like, I'm trying to achieve my goals, and the day that that's off the table, I'm out. And the fact that things kept happening to make it, that were out of my control, things were kept happening that weren't allowing me to do that, I was like, okay, then I'm listening, and I'm out.
I think that one of the unique things, and I had this conversation with John Mayer when he retired as well. He talked about things you can control because he's really, really big on that.
Yeah.
We worked together at LMU, and it's weird because I came in the more experienced coach, but like you leave that guy after one season, you're in the head of a genius. I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm a
But
fan.
he talked about things that you can't control and take care of things you can control. And once you check all the boxes on things you can control, at some point you're going to hit this wall, and now you have a proper diagnosis of things you can't. So it seems like this complicated approach, but at the end of the day, when it becomes your routine, it becomes very simple. And you sounded a lot like him for two reasons. One, there's not, I mean, there's an ego identity thing too, right? Like if you can't do the things you're good at, right, it's not fun anymore. You're
Right,
just
right. Yeah, exactly.
I'm 55. I'm done.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
So,
Yeah. It's like,
but
yeah,
they're like, but you can
like
play
you
here. I'm
can't-
like, nah, it's not
you
the same.
can't jump anymore. Like,
Yeah.
like you jump half
Yeah.
the height and you just clearly physically can't compete with the best players in the world. Like, I don't want to get to that point.
Right.
I enjoyed retiring, leading Manhattan in block. Like I had to post that one. I was like, that's how I wanted it to be. I didn't want this narrative to be like, oh, he just retired because he got older. And like, no.
I think, well, we're going to revisit the retirement somewhere,
Yeah, sure.
somewhere in the middle of this. My inherent curiosity made us jump ahead to somewhere in the middle of Act 3.
Yeah.
Hey guys, this story is being told in 3 acts. Okay, Act 1. And this is a question like all of the podcasts you've been in. I don't even remember anyone asking you this. How did you get started with volleyball?
Yeah.
Isn't that wild? No,
Right.
like has anyone even
Yeah.
asked this guy that? How did you? Let me start with like a baby podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
Mr. Bourne, how did you?
Right, right.
How did you start this? When did you start? Or why? Or what? What got you into it? Or what? Like, was it a family thing? Was it a Hawaii thing?
Yeah. Well, you probably heard about the like Outrigger Canoe Club, right?
Yeah. Sorry. You
I
probably
thought
heard
that
about
was
ESPN,
I
right?
thought that was my
okay.
ESPN update. Should we read it? Everyone's interested.
I think it's fantasy.
Oh,
my
yeah,
thing
yeah,
only
of
pops
course.
up when it's, you know.
I've been trying to limit myself in fantasy. It's
Yeah.
been overtaking my mind lately.
Yeah.
I get so into it.
Yeah, my wife used to laugh at me. Now, guess what? She got like 2 teams. She got 2 fantasy teams.
Yeah, right,
now.
right, right, yeah.
And one is for money. I'm like, for money?
Dang.
What?
Yeah, like now you gotta
She
help
a
out.
my girl a miser, dude. I'm like, you playing for money? You have to understand the type of girl that don't like to spend money, and that's the type of girl we like to be with.
Yeah, for sure,
right?
for sure.
Your wife too.
Oh yeah, I'm cheap.
It's not what you make; it's what you spend.
Yeah. for
So
sure.
yeah, talk to me a little bit about that Outrigger Canoe Club, legendary club in Hawaii.
It's, I would say, simply put, I grew up an athlete in a family of athletes. My parents are PE teachers. Dad played football.
Triathletes, right?
Yeah. My dad played football at University of Hawaii, so that's how he ended up there. Mom was actually a skier, downhill skier from Minnesota.
Oh, wow.
See the Viking shirt?
Yes, let's go.
So, and then she made her way out to Hawaii for whatever reason, met my dad. They're like, we love it here. My mom gave up the frozen water for the ocean, but they were just active athletes. My mom was like an aerobics teacher, and then they both got into PE teachers, athletic directors at high schools, all that. And so they just raised kids. They raised kids in sports, and then because my mom was a canoe paddler, she was at the Outrigger Canoe Club. She got kind of recruited to be a part of the club because she's a really good paddler. They ended up winning world championships with Trevor and Taylor's mom. So
wow.
I have pictures of us as babies with moms at the finish lines of the races.
Holy sugar.
That's how we met. But we grew up at this club, and there happened to be volleyball courts on the roof. The Crab's dad is one of the best, for his age, probably one of the best volleyball players in the world.
Chris.
Yeah. And then all the other guys that grew up at that club are some of the best volleyball players in the world. They taught the game at a really high level. Dave Shoji, who's the University of Hawaii coach.
Yep.
His kids grew up. The Shojis grew up. It was just all the kids at the club, and I was there for paddling mostly. My family, but I was like, I'm tall and athletic. Let me see if I can beat you guys at this, and we just went at it. Us kids up on the court, and there's this baby court. It's a small court, so obviously we're gonna play on the smaller one because it's easier for us and it's more fun. And we just went at it and talked trash, and we're little punks to each other and poor sports, and learned how to compete. But what you see between Trevor and I and Taylor, and how we can kind of go at each other without taking it personally, that's the part we enjoy. I remember coming up from college and going straight, and we were playing in this frat league. These frat kids wanted to play. They had courts in their house. We're like, okay, good luck. We show up and we just start destroying them. But we're running our mouths too, because that's just what that was the fun part.
Nah, it's a scrap culture.
And they didn't get it though.
No, of
they
course
they
not.
were like, you guys are It was like, oh no, I'm not actually not. I just thought that's what you do. That's what me and my friends do. That's part of the competition is like trying to crack the other guy emotionally. It sounds kind of bad, but like also that's what's carried us. Like look at our confidence, us Hawaii boys. Like we don't back down.
And look
from
at your
anyone.
thick skin.
Yeah, and like the heckler, I came out and I'm 20 whatever, 20 years old, 23 by the time I got to the beach, but going through getting heckled as a kid a bit, jawing with my friends, going to college and getting that collegiate heckling. I come out here and Rosie's Raiders are yelling at me. I was like, psh,
You're like,
I'm good.
This
Like,
is a normal day.
This is all good. We're good here.
No, I know that. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah, you get it.
Yeah, and before volleyball, for me, it was the three sports: basketball, football, baseball. But basketball, man, you were talking all the time.
No,
so
100%.
like from east to far west.
Yeah, for sure.
And when you were talking about like,
You get it.
like it's just a scrap culture,
Yeah.
and of course at
But
some
you
point
see people that
yeah.
crack, they get kind of cracked and rattled by it because they're taking it personally, or they think it's a real conversation even. Like
Yeah.
it's not even a real conversation. It's just like, it's just dialogue. I don't know.
It's something that as a juniors coach, when I was coaching Evolution, I'm like, I warned
Yeah, you can't
kids
like,
on other
it's
teams.
weird at a young age. You can't like teach kids it,
Yeah.
right? Like
There was like a
young
kid
age.
from Rockstar. It was like shaking my hand, and when he was shaking my hand, he was doing this the whole time.
Just staring
At a coach, right?
Right.
So I just looked to see where his parents were, and I'm like, and I said, "Come here, bring it in." And I'm like, the other coach telling the other team bring it in instead of my own team. I'm like, look, this is regionals, right? You're about to go to nationals. And if you play a team that's in the Bronx, that's an all Dominican team, right? And if you stare at him like that, that means you're fighting. You know what I mean? It's an act.
Social
I'm
intelligence
like, we're in
here.
the South Bay and we're having fun with this.
Right.
And trust me, I get it. I've been here. But I'm like,
Well, that's the
and
volleyball
I
things.
was like, you get to play sore winner and have fun because I don't really care. But I'm going to give you guys a piece of advice. When you go to nationals and you play a team from Miami, right? And it's usually the Latino teams, right? One, you might get into an actual scrap. And two, like some people, that's like giving Popeye spinach. Right?
Yeah,
like if you
for
played in the
sure.
U.S. indoor national team, right? You have a
sure.
rule. You don't talk the three teams you don't do that to: the Italians,
Brazils probably.
the Brazilians, and the Russians, who are basically white Dominicans. So you started out outrigger. I was there this year.
Yeah.
I was there for the Hall of Fame for Pedro Velasco.
Yeah.
And your father was
So
there.
I was
not your father. Chris Crab was there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was just an athlete, a beach rat. Like I was surfing, canoe paddling, swimming, anything, water, and then the courts were just there. So I'm
baby
still
court.
like out of all the volleyball guys, I was the one of the only one probably of the people that the volleyball community that was actually like on the paddling team for like a decade. And
Yeah.
like,
While you're doing
like,
that, I'm actually going to pull
sailing
up
and-
Outrigger Canoe Club so they could check it out. Go ahead.
yeah. So
So you were just in every sport.
I was just at the club and happened to be raised around these kids who were really good volleyball players. And I was competitive and an athlete, and we just had a great childhood, just gromming out and playing for fun.
Nice.
That's part of it too, right?
Yeah.
Nobody ever told me to play beach volleyball, or like asked me if I wanted to, or it was all on me going down there and playing because I wanted to.
I also wanted to show our viewers that this place. Check this out. This doesn't look like a
that's
training facility, right?
No, that's the How Terrace. Yeah, that's like the nice restaurant part of it.
Yeah.
You got to see the courts or
I
like
really the baby
actual
court.
beach.
Yep.
It's a canoe paddling club. Like
So-
it's canoe paddling first is the main sport, and then volleyball, and they're very elite in both of them.
They really are. So, how old were you? How old are we talking about?
Oh, since the day I was born.
Right
I was
out
at
of the
that
womb.
club. Yeah,
Right
my
out of the
mom,
womb.
our moms were paddling together. Our moms were on the same paddling team before we were born. So we literally were at the club. I remember being in the whaler, the boat next to, the coach is in the boat while the paddlers are paddling at practice. And I would just be in there with the coach. And I'm just bobbing around like as a little baby.
There it is. There's the baby court.
There's the baby court. Yeah, I wonder who that is in those photos, those kids.
This is recent because
Oh, it's
again I
recent.
was in
Okay, got it.
Hawaii, and I remember two of those kids.
Yep.
I was there for the
And there was
again.
like no rules when
Yeah.
we played.
Yeah, just kind of like
Well, it was like we changed the rules every time. Okay, today we're playing off the fence. Today we're gonna if you can catch it like hataria style. Hataria is the
yeah.
Brazilian style, but or nuke 'em ball, right? Or we weren't even playing volleyball. We were playing dodgeball or someone's freaking out and throwing rocks and trying to fight each other. Like it was just kids having fun, and it happened to be on a volleyball court.
Who's the biggest troublemaker?
Oof, biggest troublemaker.
I mean, you're up there with Trevor.
I think it was
you're up
Brad
there
Lawson. I don't know if
Brad
people
Lawson.
remember him.
Okay.
He was the biggest when we were younger, but then by the time we got to adults, he's one of the sweetest guys. He was probably the biggest troublemaker for sure.
I love it. This is like the aloha spirit at like all levels. This is
Yeah,
wild.
I guess so.
So I like
it's cool.
that.
It's
So
cool.
you ended up playing volleyball at a certain high school, but they didn't have
Yes.
like a varsity team. You transferred.
I
Or
went to
something?
my dad's high school where he was at, and it's what they would call a second chance school. It tended to be.
Right.
So it's super small up on the hill. Like even people on like it's a small island. Even people on the island don't know that school existed. Up on the hill next to Kamehameha School, which is one of the biggest schools in the country. Just these little cottages. 120 kids in the school, 6 through 12, 120 kids.
Wow.
So there's you can count on one or two hands how many seventh graders there was that when as a senior I knew the names of pretty much every kid in the whole school, and vice versa when I was in 8th grade and when I started there. But I went there because my dad taught there, and it was cool. It was just really like small, tight knit community.
So I want to see if I could just share the
Academy of the
share
Pacific,
live.
it's called, and it doesn't exist anymore. It actually closed down and turned into what's called Asset School now,
What?
which is another kind of specialty school.
For like
Yeah,
to learn a trade or something, or
more like kids who had maybe harder times learning, maybe had ADHD or dyslexia or something like that. It was a little more catered to kids like that. And then my school was a little bit more, maybe you got kicked out and you needed from another school, you needed a second chance, or you had some of the, a little slower, or you needed a little smaller community. And for me, it was more, I went there because my dad, but I actually it was so much better for me than the big school. I went to St. Louis high school and middle school, and that's a proper, like, big, harder school. And it was hard for me too, and I ended up in detention a decent amount, and just hard for me to do all the homework, and I'm a little ADHD as well, and so it was just great, like being at this super small school with in these cottages.
More personal attention. Yeah.
Personal. It was just like there wasn't so much pressure it wasn't this college prep energy, right, that all my friends were getting over at Punahou, one of the best schools in the country.
Yeah.
But we didn't have any volleyball team. Like literally, I was the only volleyball player in the whole school. So they allowed me to go play for this school called Marinol, and that's where
Which actually has a varsity team. That's
they have a
right.
varsity team. They let kids from AOP and Assets play at Marinol. So it ended up being one of my best friends, who still is to this day. Nick Costello, he's the assistant at UH right now for the women. He went to Assets. I went to AOP. He and I met at Marinol, and we ended up being the captains of the Marinol volleyball team all the way through
There it
senior
is.
year. Yeah.
They're like, we got an outsider.
Yeah, but you know what's funny is they let us play for Marinol, and then when it came to state championships, we qualified little Marinol school for state championships. They said we can't play. No, they kicked us out.
They did?
They wouldn't let us play.
Because you were too good.
Yeah, they're like, you guys can
Let's
play
just call
regular.
it what it is.
You can play regular season, but we get to state, and this is high school kids, man. Like, and they booted us. So we sat on the bench. The two captains of the team sat on the bench.
No,
during
come on.
states, yeah.
And the whole time you're probably like this.
Yeah, we're just
Jeez.
like, shh, I mean.
Yeah.
So my
you
coach
guys
was like, all right,
suck.
yeah, that was a pretty lame move. But yeah, so I have it wasn't the typical story, from everyone, even on the broadcast, they say that I went to Punahou. Everyone just assumes if you went from Hawaii and you played volleyball, you went to Punahou. Or,
I did. I mean, I assume, but if, I think I'm a guy that does his homework.
no, I
right?
snuck into Punahou with Riley McKibben, and so I could get a weight room workout in, or like whatever, because the school's so big they didn't notice.
Nice.
Big white guy. Yeah, there's a bunch of big white guys in the school.
Yeah, who's gonna notice that?
Yeah, tall guy, obviously a volleyball player.
Kind of like a white guy with an afro on Flatbush Avenue.
There you go. But yeah, I don't know. It was unique and great. Growing up in Hawaii, I was lucky.
I think just drawing a picture in people's heads, like where they go to high school, where regionally and this and that. And I'm like, man, Hawaii must be nice, right? Like a lot of people never realized, like, or drew a picture until like Barack Obama became president. And just start looking at his whatever.
Especially you being from the other side of the world, and exact opposite. Like, if there's an exact opposite of Hawaii, it's New York. I would think.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys, it's so many similarities though. Like everybody growing up, like
it seems
like
a
there was no
tight-knit.
like if you got picked on, you had to scrap. There was no like run home, make this person stop bullying me. You had to, and when you fought them, everybody was good. What I'm saying? Right. And then now you're playing baseball together, like a week later, right?
Yeah,
so
or you gain like a social intelligence to avoid. That was more me. It was like I would have got beat up. Like way too much
the crowds
if I wasn't smart, smart enough to be like, or I just ran fast. People couldn't catch me. Yeah. But like the social intelligence of understanding, okay, I understand. I can feel the energy shifting here. I'm going to like kind of dodge it. Whereas other kid like this kid, you're talking about staring you down. You're like, dude, you're so lucky that you're staring me down right now and not the wrong person who's going to snap,
Yeah. But
so I think you learn that. You learn that in communities like ours.
It's like, there's a fight. It's like, those guys are brothers. Forget them. They're brothers.
Mean, even Chase and Trevor, right? Like, or it was like, the shoving. It wasn't. Neither of them were like
about that life.
Come on. Yeah, but like neither of them, even in that moment, were like, we're about to throw down in front of. No, it was like hey, get the hell away from me, shove. Mm-hmm. And Trevor was like, can I get a call from the ref? It wasn't like neither of them like squared up or anything, but like people kind of overreact. And I think they both kind of respect.
Of course.
Deep down, they respect each other for like, oh, wow, someone actually stood up to me. Like, it's about time.
Do you know what made me laugh at that though? Well, one, as a guy,
Or look at Taylor and Hyden, right? Like,
yeah.
That was another shove, but it wasn't like.
Taylor got so mad at me about that too. Like, he was in New York. He's like, I heard you call me disgraceful. I said, no, I didn't. I said, I called you shameful and embarrassing. You came up with disgraceful on your own. But and I didn't say he was shameful and embarrassing. I said that when I saw the video, I said it's shameful and embarrassing that people are not going to click on the video because it was a good game.
Oh, all right.
They're going to click on it and skip to the end because of that. Like, and the comment section was like, oh my God, finally volleyball, all this life. And I'm like, guys, this isn't, at the time, I mean, I appreciate it now retrospectively, but at the time I'm like, what are you guys talking about? This isn't good, you trolls.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, who knows? I mean.
No, but maybe it is.
No.
Listen, you're my guest. I got to let you talk. What do you think?
No, it's not good, for sure.
Right.
Especially like those are two of my closest people to me, But I think it just kind of showed sometimes when people stand up for themselves, it kind of just shows like, oh, okay, we can't just talk and have no consequences. And this volleyball net is not an invisible wall that no one can cross,
Right.
And Taylor was just standing up for Sander at that moment. Like,
yeah,
Sander was running his mouth. He didn't care who he's playing against. Hyden's on the other side, like, man, do you know how many years I've put in? You're gonna talk to me like, give me that energy. So Hyden came back like, hey, listen, I ain't gonna take your crap, Sander. I don't care who you are. And then Taylor Crab heard that, and he's like, well, I don't care who, like, don't talk to my guy like that. And it just turned into that. It's like, whatever. And then he snapped, which we don't want. You don't want to go lay your hands on someone. But
You know what I liked about though Trevor and Chase? Chase the whole time. Now I've been doing commentary for what feels like
Well, also, this used to happen all the time.
Yeah, of course.
And I don't think it's a good, like, we're not trying to promote it at all.
No, of course not. No, but the only cool thing I got about that was, like, I've been doing this, calling matches for a long time. So I know, like, during the timeout, like, if I was doing, like, a ventriloquist thing, like a fake thing, I already know what they're saying. I already know, what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Chase the entire time was telling Miles, don't let Trevor get in your head. Don't let Trevor get in your head. He's going to mess with you. Don't let him get in your head. Mm-hmm. And the whole time he's saying that, he was the one. He was the one that actually pushed him.
Right. Well, define getting in your head, though, because he came back and won the match.
He did. And again, sometimes some people, that's like giving them an inciting incident to do that. There's like, look, we talked about teams that's giving Popeye spinach, right? We talked about the Brazilians.
Yeah.
But you as a professional have to examine the situation. What if they're mad at each other, right? And you do something like that. You just made them, what you've done unwittingly or not, was made them put their differences aside. And now they have a reason to come together and win.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to examine, like, these two ain't getting along. I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
That's none of my business.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's a weird conversation. You could talk about it for days, but at the end of the day, I think you can't lose your cool because you're influencing someone, especially like the youth, or there's people watching out there that are. Mm-hmm. You're influencing and you're having an impact on, or
right.
Maybe you're inspiring them, and maybe you're inspiring them the wrong way when you snap or lose your cool or whatever it might be.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, so it's not good.
No, I mean, well, this is why a lot of people don't like me. I differentiate what's a role model, what makes someone a role model. Like sometimes, like you have Michael Jordan. I'm old enough to remember Michael Jordan. Everyone wants to be like Mike, Gatorade commercials, this and that. You don't want to be off the court, Mike. Okay? Yeah.
You don't want to teach your kids to treat their teammates like Mike or Kobe did.
But that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Like there was a huge, I don't know if this is a generational thing, but you were able to take the things that Mike did well and inspire you to do things well in your wheelhouse, right? Like someone decided to go back to law school and get his law degree because he saw Mike, right? This one's a sport, they don't seem logically connected, but psychologically, like you're a vet. I'm talking to someone who's older now. In many ways, it is connected. So if someone can inspire you to do something on the court that makes you do other things well, then do that. I'm preaching to the preacher here. You always get autographs at the end. You always get pictures at the end. People love you because you let your play do the talking. You are an absolute boss. And I became I have your card. You're going to sign this at the end. I'm a hater from New York, and I'm not a fan of players. I'm a purist. But guess what? I want you to sign this card. I'm a bit of a fan. I know I'm breaking from what we were talking about, but there's Eric Baranek, who doesn't play anymore. There was Trevor, Theo, and now Try.
There we go.
On the women's end, it's TKN.
Yep.
I really liked Chrissy Jones. She doesn't play anymore either, but I'm really warming up to Tony Rodriguez. Just this little bionic woman story. And you remember me and you were talking about like the way you talk to people come from this real place and this grounded place. I get that from Tony. We're both too old for BS, so we can both say there's a lot of phonies in this business, and she's not one of them.
I can see that.
I became. Sorry, I mean, we got stuff to go through, but I became a bit of a fan. I'm a fan.
Yeah, that's what I love about. That's the exact reason why I think the players should be encouraged to put their real, authentic selves out there, because like she's not going to resonate with everyone, but there are people who maybe they're just from the bird's eye view, they're not going to become fans of her, but you put yourself out there authentically and people connect with you, and you don't know who that's going to be. So you got to put yourself out there to get those real fans, and the more we can connect with people on that level, the more fans we're going to get of this sport.
Great.
So that's why I think it's so important that athletes you have to put in some effort to put yourself out there. And we're not taught that, in college or high school. You're taught to like show up, do your work on the court, and that's it. Like, don't even interact with the fans, really. Just focus on playing, and that's it. And I think that that's important, and I was even that was like my focus at one point, but I realized that no, not at the professional level. Like, we are entertainers, and we need to entertain by connecting with the fan bases and creating those moments and making them remember being there, which makes them want to come back, right? And we have to put ourselves out there. We have to connect with the audience. Look at Casey Pat. Like, there's some stuff that he did over the years, and I hated it. Being on the other side, I'm like, this dude he's winning the crowd because he's dancing and like doing all this BS. Like, let's do it. Let's do our stuff on the court. But then over the years, I was like, nah, he's got something. There's something here that he's doing that I need to learn from. And check my ego and just actually, like, let's appreciate what he is doing, right? Because he's getting all these wild cards, and like, every time I play, the fans are on his side. I'm like, damn, what the heck's
There's no way.
on?
Yeah.
But even now, people still talking about the guy, and they loved watching him play and that was real for him. That's the other thing. Like, me going out there and dancing and doing this weird, like, oh, I'm just gonna act like Casey. That would be weird. That would be and like not authentic. But whatever your authentic
I like you
self
said that. That'd
is,
be weird.
that'd be weird. Whatever your authentic self is, just express it.
Yeah.
Like, let the fans in on it.
I think the reason why coaches don't like that, and this is before you turn pro, they don't properly diagnose personalities with skill set, right? There are some people, you want the kid to express themselves, but is their wave too high? We have this thing in indoor volleyball.
Well, it makes it harder to perform. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, is it sustainable?
If you're not just right here zoned in, and it's a skill that you have to train to be able to take your attention out, acknowledge the fans, and come right back in.
Yep.
And by the time this ball is served, you're just fully locked in. That's very hard to do.
Yeah.
So, like, I wouldn't teach my high school team to do that, because I think they're going to be way worse before they get better. And as a coach, you're not trying to teach that. But as we get older and into the professional level, as you realize that we're actually entertainers out here, because like, we sell tickets, like the sport
People
exists.
are paying money
the sport
to see
exists
you.
because of sponsorships and fans paying. I mean, just because of fans, because sponsors are a part of it because of the fans. So it's just an added challenge. Like, it is harder to do, and there's a reason why you wouldn't want to do that. But if you accept that challenge and you learn how to compartmentalize it all and do it the right way, you end up being a really great professional athlete.
No doubt. No,
and you can monetize your career. I think Hagen's doing a great job.
This is a breakthrough year for him in that regard.
He saw it growing up, right? His dad's one of the best in terms of self-promotion, tour promotion, putting out his his uncles. I would say his uncles are the Stokloses and the Hovs and Dodds and the whatever.
Right.
But I think Hagen's been great for the sport, and his game is showing as well. His confidence in himself and his ability to execute, and he's raising Logan's game up. I think.
Yeah,
it's been cool to see.
But our radar, we kind of, from the physical, we saw it coming because we knew we had the training, we knew we had the know-how. But I think his inciting incident was at the Intuit Dome this year, where he played Phil and Trevor. Mm-hmm. And I have this thing, you ever saw the movie Gladiator, win the crowd, win your freedom.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you're in this arena where, like, everyone just wants to see, there's a story told in some kind of folklore where you're supposed to lose, right? So what he did, well, the guy staved off match point like 3 times. And then the third time just kind of did this with the crowd. And then the crowd shifted from Phil, because everybody came to watch Phil because, like, as you know, the Swan song. A lot of people came to see you, which we're going to talk about. Mm-hmm. And then the crowd, he ended up outfilling Phil. He outfilled Phil.
Well, Phil's not an entertainer.
He won the crowd.
Phil's one of those guys who, and it's authentic to him, which is why I don't knock it. But he doesn't enjoy. He's an introvert, right? Yeah. Very much, and he doesn't feel the need to do any of that, extra.
Right.
Working the crowd or doing anything like that.
It would be weird, like you said.
Yeah, for him. I mean, I think who knows what he thinks about it now. I think he's probably uncomfortable with it, so that's why he didn't want to do it. Maybe, and I don't know, if we talk to him now, maybe he'd be like, yeah, maybe I could have or should, but I don't really want to, like, put myself out there a little bit more. It's just not his personality. It's whatever. But Hagen, I think, I see people doing these flex downs, and there's all this stuff you're doing, and you can just tell when some people are doing it and it's fake. when they're like consciously like, oh, right now I got to do something cool. Hagen's one of those guys. I get it. Like, he's doing it, but it's just coming out raw and natural. Like, that's what I want to see. When let your emotions out, raw, natural. And he's earned it. He played in national championships indoor, and he's had that
6'2" with Micah, right?
He's put in,
ran a little 6'2".
He's put in a lot of work. Like, he's been grinding away for years now on the beach, and now he's finally cracking through. So yeah, it's cool to see. It's cool to see some of these guys step up.
His level up moment.
He doesn't have the talent. Like, he's obviously physically, like, he can fly. He's got all the skills, but like, he doesn't have the size, or he doesn't jump that high or hit that hard.
He can work harder than you, though.
He'll outwork, and it's his confidence. I think that is his biggest skill. He has this. I call it false confidence. It sounds negative when I say that, but like, it doesn't have to be real. As long as you believe it, it's real. Whether it's right or not wrong, or you've proved it in the real world or not, if you believe you got it, then I believe it's gonna manifest itself. And
it's called fake it till you make it, right? But the one person that doesn't realize it, like you just said, is the person doing it.
Yeah, well, and you're not fake. You don't think you're faking.
Exactly.
It.
The one person that will disagree with you,
right.
Because from the outside, and the reason why we call it that is because there are certain players, if they put that pressure on their shoulders, knowing that everyone's watching them, knowing that everyone's going to say, I told you so when you fail. There are certain players that want to perform under that pressure, and they can take it. And there's some
they're not
people
scared to fail.
Yeah, and
they can take the failure, so they're not scared of it.
Yeah, there's a level of thick skin that's like, go ahead, hit me with your best shot.
I'm gonna
and
fail.
I really like
if I'm gonna fail, I'm gonna fail big. Yeah.
Hagen's.
Well, but also, like, when you're going against Trevor and Phil right now, like, trust me, expectation's a thing, and I think he probably realizes, like, I have no expectation. I'm not supposed to be one of the top guys yet, right? Now he is, right? He put that expectation on himself. We're not supposed to beat this team. We're not supposed to, we're probably supposed to be nervous on this stage. So I'm just going to, no pressure. I'm just going to go all in, and you can see he's just having fun with it. Both those guys. I think he brought out the best in Logan as well.
Won the crowd, won his freedom.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think
now these outfits he's getting into. I don't know if that's quite as that's a little more thought out. That's a little more thought out, and
I think
maybe
that's
getting a little weird. But
that's
hey,
an oversell.
Hey, you do you.
I like what you said. Like, there's some people that flex, and you said, and I look at them like this, and your eyes went like this, like, that's not real. Like, dude, that's not real.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right.
For you, as far as mannerisms, there's an old saying, because I'm a theater guy. My major, I have a theater degree from Marymount Manhattan College. I was in the BFA program there.
Nice.
Which is why you see me doing
familiar,
everything. Yeah.
My wife.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Yep. Where'd she get her BFA? She was also in a BFA
USC.
program? At SC.
With me, yeah.
Actually, that's a pretty competitive program.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
when I auditioned, I didn't know, like, top 10. And that's honestly not knowing helped my audition, because I would have been scared.
Well, she grew up acting in New York as well, because in high school they moved to Jersey. So she's driving to New York however often, doing all her auditions and acting classes and stuff.
That's so cool. I did not know that. Yeah, Marymount at the time was ranked number 2. There was Juilliard and Marymount. Central Park's in the middle, right?
Yeah.
And for a 10-year period, they traded sides. And you got Carnegie Mellon, right? You got DePaul. You got USC for West Coast. It's probably one of the best ones
they've had some big
side of the
names come out
country.
there.
Will Ferrell, yeah. Will Ferrell's like a Shakespearean trained actor too. You'd never know, because he's doing all this kooky stuff.
That's why he's
classically
so
trained.
That's why he's so unique, right? I think because he has all the aspects, and he just can use all of it to bring it back to his
Yeah.
comedy. And yeah.
So I want to talk about USC for like 5 minutes, but before we do, your wife,
Yeah.
who's also an interior designer, you see this garbage thing behind me?
Yeah.
My idea is my wife and I were like 15-year subscribers to New York Magazine. So what I want is New York Magazine covers, because they have these artistic pieces where you're supposed to interpret what's going on, and it's connected to the current event.
Yeah.
So what I want to do is take the front of the magazine covers
Yeah. And put
and
them
have
all
like a wall collage behind me.
Yeah.
Just New York Magazine.
Yeah.
So if your wife was watching this, like, this thing's all over the place. We got like we got more likes than views, right? And my text just blew up. Like, Corey Brindell's watching this. Like,
Yeah.
so this thing's all over the place. We're not going to pay attention to that, except if someone has a question. Do you see Aaron got a question? All right, we'll take that question later. Let's talk about USC. One, how did you get into all right, you get into USC. Did you play with Raleigh?
Yeah. So, like I said, I went to that small high school, so people didn't really know me.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't know about me. Most coaches are looking at the Punahos and stuff, but Riley is one of my best friends at the time, and he and I, like, sophomore year of high school, kind of like connected, and we're like, let's try to like conquer the world. Like, let's try to like. So we became beach partners, and we started training together, like lifting. Half to be really good at volleyball, half to just look good and be jacked, as kids do. But then also, like, we just connected super deeply. We were just trying to hang out all the time, and he was the top setter in the country, and he's Stanford, USC. We're all trying to get him. And then he told SC, hey, get my buddy Try in, and I'll go there. Basically said that, and so USC took a look at me, and they're like, wait, who is this guy? And they asked the Punahou coach. And when they asked the head coach of Punahou, and he told them, like, hey, this guy's for real, that's when they were like, okay, hey, we're going to get you in. And I'm going from this little school up on the hill in these cottages to, like, USC. My dad's like, hey, USC asked if you wanted to go there.
And
like,
at the time was
can't afford it,
was
but
a hotbed
if you
school,
want to go,
indoor school, right? Yeah.
I mean, I was sending messages to all the coaches out there. If they're listening, almost none of them responded to me.
Right.
And then freshman year, I get into USC, whatever, they figured out a way to get me in. And,
what position?
Utility, but okay. I played outside. But then freshman year, they needed me to play oppo, but then I could pass, so I played passing oppo. We put the outside hitter in the back like an oppo,
Okay.
Like, and then I was practicing at middle at one point. I played in games as libero at one point, but mostly OH2. So
who was the coach?
Bill Ferguson.
Bill Ferguson, gotcha.
Yeah, so we were tight, and Riley got me into USC basically, and so I had zero expectation. Like, I might go to junior college, I don't know what I'm doing, and somehow I ended up at USC, which was like whoa, I didn't expect to be here. So I was just like thrown into the fire, like high level, almost professional level athletic program. Really, for me, difficult academics. So that's where I kind of like learned work ethic. And I was like, man, I just got to survive this. I got to find a way to get through it and like do my best. I had no expectation for just trying to pass classes. And if I got through college with just a 2.0, because that was the minimum, right, to play sports. 2.0,
right, 2.0,
I was like,
yeah. Basically just C's.
Just
if you're a C student.
Yeah, just get it done. And then, I just kept grinding. I put in a lot of work to like pull that off. It was hard for me. Like, other kids like didn't even have to go to class, and it wasn't even that hard. For me, it was super hard. So I feel like I put in like 2 or 3 times as much work as other kids had to just to get through that. But then it kind of prepared me, and I just kind of kept steamrolling that work ethic and like being able to like overachieve, I guess, from my goals. Like, I was, like I said, if I got into a junior college or a lower level college and played volleyball there, that would have been fine. But I went to USC. I was like, whoa, if I went to USC, like at the end of college, like maybe I can play pro. And I'm like, whoa, I played pro and I was like actually good at it. Maybe I could, let's try the beach. whoa, I picked up John Hyden. Whoa, I'm winning tournament.
That's
You know, I just kept
awesome.
surprising myself.
Yeah.
So I just kept raising the bar, and
You know,
that's where we're at.
you know what's weird? Not having expectations. Two things. One, not
Yeah,
having
that was huge
expectations
for me.
is liberating as heck.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. And there's a lot of people that confuse goal with expectations, because goal and expectations sound the same.
Yes.
And I actually said this on a previous podcast. I had this savage coach named Brian McDermott from has an indoor facility in Chicago,
Yeah.
Indoor Beach Progression. Big up, big shout. Goal, like if I'm performing, my goal is to make it about my scene partner and this and that. My expectation is the expectation is for people to love it. But if I go on stage trying to be good, I'm never going to be good. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're playing volleyball, right? If you go in this game saying, I'm going to be great, I'm going to wow this crowd.
Right.
The last thing that's going to happen, if it happens at all, is actually wowing the crowd.
Yeah,
but what
yeah.
wows the crowd is you not having the expectation. You're like, dude, I got
It's like
a lot of food on my plate. I'm not. Expectations are way over there right now. So,
improv.
Was it liberating?
Yeah, for sure. And then, like, as you're thinking in theater terms, right? Like improv. I took improv classes, like, just to learn because I was interested.
That was been hilarious.
That's
That was
the
great.
ultimate test of expectations, right? If you expect this conversation, or you try to steer this conversation or this scene, in a certain direction, like, you're gonna mess it up. But you have to just be in the moment, and obviously, your goal is to create a great scene, but you can't have any expectation beforehand as to what that's gonna be, right?
Yeah, it keeps you young, dude. Sorry,
No, I love
finish that
that.
sentence, but it's kept you young, my friend.
Yeah, for sure.
It turned me into an old man, though.
Yeah, but as far as expectations go, like, I don't know what the experts say, but I almost think expectations are completely useless. And I'm sure someone maybe could come up with an explanation why they're useful. But when you say there, so for me, you say goals, I say aspirations. There's expectations and aspirations. Expectations, when you compare them to aspirations, are completely useless. Like, you aspire to do something, you set the intention, you try to do it to the best of your ability, and whatever happens is the result. And you have to make that your goal, is to have the result be whatever happens by you following your aspirations. And you achieved your goal if you followed your aspirations, if you followed your intentions, and followed your values, and whatever the result is yeah, I did it because that was my goal. It's like an improv scene, right? Like, you can't say what the results are going to be. Like, if my expectations for my career, and we know that this was a goal of mine, right, to be Olympic gold medalist, try to reach world number 1 at some point, all that, my career would kind of have been a failure, right? I came up short. But when I look at it more like I aspired to do that, and I followed through in attempting to do that, I was on the path, and it turned into this whole other thing, like, where I somehow, to be a professional athlete to the best of my ability was the goal, right? I wanted to learn and feel what it was like to be a world-class athlete. That was my goal. That was my aspiration. I wonder what that experience is like, because I love pro athlete. That's who I looked up to growing up. That's the life I just was like, that'd be the coolest if I got to experience what that was like. So that was my aspiration. And what played out, none of this was my plan to have the podcast and then get sick in the prime of my career, 27, 28-year-old.
Wild, dude.
And now I just flew to Dallas to receive an award for the patient ambassador for the Myositis Association award, which is a big deal, and we can get to that later. But, like, now I'm able to, I guess, help people, inspire people in ways I had no idea I could. Podcast, I'm helping connect players and fans, and having an impact off the court. I had no plan to do this. I had no expectation for any of it, but I let it all kind of play out in a real, authentic way. I came up short of a lot of goals. I got crushed by coming up short on, like, mentally, physically. Failed a lot, in my opinion, throughout the career in terms of getting where I wanted to go. But I learned so much, and now I'm sitting in a unique position, and it's all great. But like, it's not exactly how I would have pictured it all playing out. But I'm glad that I let it play out just naturally how it was, and now I'm not calling it a failure of a career because I didn't achieve that one goal. You
Right.
know?
Well, try, and this is very, very important. You may know this, but since we have an audience listening, it's important that they know this. Greatness is man's failure in his pursuit of perfection. All right? Greatness is achieved when you fail at perfection.
Right.
So at the end, you're not perfect, but you know what happened? You're great. You're really, really great, and that's okay.
If you didn't
and
fail. You didn't challenge yourself.
No. And in the beginning, you were talking about like dreams, being scary. To me, if dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough, right?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
but you were talking about aspirations. So improv, just for improv for everybody, we do something called GOAT. Goal, obstacle, tactics, expectation, GOAT. So expectations last because the expectation is the net result of your goal. Obstacle, what's in the way of your goal? Tactical, how are you going to get around those obstacles?
Right.
And then what happens at the end? So there's the older you get, there's a human perspective on having what to expect on the horizon, but at the same time, again, I can't emphasize enough that it was so liberating for you to just be like, hey, I'm here. I'm in my moment, man. Who cares about all that other stuff,
Yeah.
And to me, your first ballot Hall of Fame because at every level you were there. Like USC, you made the finals, right? And you went 5 sets with a team that against
I had
a
the ball in
juggernaut.
my hands, up 7-5 in the 5th set in the national championship.
Okay. Go on.
Only 2 years after being at AOP where I was graduating with 20 kids on
Isn't
the
that
outdoor
wild?
basketball court.
And that was Irvine, right?
Yeah, Irvine
Yeah.
against Johnsboro. I call it more Johnsboro. Us versus John. It seemed like in
Good
that,
coach.
because he was such a juggernaut of a coach.
Good player too.
guess
UCLA. Yeah.
It's loud in the gym. 5'7". I go up, hit a good jump serve. They pass it at 11 feet. It's good, right? I did my job. Ref blows it off. The ref says I didn't blow my whistle because there's whistles in the crowd and everything.
No.
And we're at altitude, so I go back, hit the same serve. It goes out a foot.
Come on.
So now 6-7, and then so that started the momentum. Me missing that second serve. They ace our libero the next play, 7-7. Lost a lot of momentum. We lost the national championship.
Time out. As soon as that happens, time out, man.
Yeah, I mean, there was
you
a
ain't
timeout
getting-
in there at some point,
Good.
but yeah. But it was
Yeah.
deflated. But yeah, I mean,
That happened in the Olympics too,
failures.
Ryan Millar was in
yeah.
Greece.
Yeah.
And they're down 2-1, down 20-12
In 04?
in Athens. Athens has a bonfire inside the gym. I don't know what the
I
hell
don't know
they're
why
doing.
the Greek do that. I saw that. I went to a volleyball match.
Yeah, right?
in,
That wild.
in Olympiakos, and yeah, they're lighting flares. I'm like, dude, like this smoke can't escape in here. What are you guys doing?
Do you guys have smoke alarms up in
What
this
is-
joint?
Yeah.
But it was wild because they got Sujo in to
Yeah,
give
yeah,
him
yeah.
playing time. They came back, but what people don't remember is at 15 up, game 5, someone in the crowd blew the
It was
whistle.
15 all in game 5?
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
And someone they were down 2-1.
Yeah.
20-12. That's it. That was a wrap.
Yeah.
They're already celebrating. This is in Greece, so
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
a party, right?
yeah.
This is the quarterfinals to get into the semis. And Sujo somehow just plays a great game. Millar plays a great game. I think Barnett came in for 2 rotations, came up with like 2 clutch kills. And then in the 5th set, it's 15-15.
Was Stanley at Oppo at that time? Probably, yeah.
I think so, but he
Yeah.
was pretty quiet this match.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't know because he didn't make the noise like he made when
In
when
08,
when
he
it
was
when it
MVP.
counted. It's 15-15. Someone in the crowd blows the whistle, and the only 2 people that kept playing was Sujo and Millar. Sujo settled 1,
Yeah.
and you could see it. I mean, I'll pull up the video, maybe put it on the edit, but it's a 1, and you can see like your eye test says everybody stopped playing. Like the Greeks didn't block.
Yeah.
They didn't pull. Like the progressions.
Yeah.
Pull, defense, your base. You know what I'm saying? Your base progressions.
For sure.
And everyone just looked at the ref. And 16-15, and then 17-15. Guy hit the ball out. Greeks are begging for a touch. The Greeks are pissed, and I'm just like, I was like, Ryan, did you hear the whistle? He's like, dude, I didn't hear anything. I just knew that if I wasn't sure, you're like in your mind, if you're not sure if someone blows a whistle or not,
Just
what do you do?
finish the play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what that kind of
Yeah,
reminded me of. Except you would happen the other way. We were just hoping someone in the crowd blew a whistle and they stopped, and you just got your ace. That's 8-5. That would have been an 8-5 switch, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a big difference. 8-5 is a big difference.
Oh my
They need
God.
to negate that national championship right now. No.
Yes, we should. Well, after that, it became the decade of the repeat champ, right? We went after Ohio State. It was Irvine, Loyola Chicago, beat Division II Lewis.
Yeah,
Then
I
Ohio
can't believe
State.
Whoa.
Then Long Beach
That's
State,
hard.
Then Hawaii.
Oh, really? I
Then
didn't realize that.
UCLA, and now Long Beach won. So by this pattern, Long Beach.
Yeah,
should
put your money
probably
on
win
Long
this.
Beach.
Yeah.
I
So
didn't realize that.
It was the decade and a half of the repeat champ
Oh, whoa.
with
weird.
Irvine and Ohio State splitting time
I didn't
before
realize
that.
that.
Yeah.
Dang.
You played in a great time period for volleyball, indoor men's. It's just a lot of
It's changed a lot since
a
then.
lot of good rock star players,
Yeah.
man.
The speed of the game. I feel like I don't know. I don't know what generation changed it the most. But like I remember us trying to figure out ways to go make everything faster. Like my Bic out of the back row was really fast at the time. It was just like almost a one.
Yeah.
Right off my middle. Me and Riley ran it so fast and low that the middle, it was a problem because the middle hit it. He could reach it. It was
It's
right
like
off his
touch
shoulder.
it, and now you got 4 contacts.
He would hit it. Yeah, exactly. But now I go and look, and I'm like, damn, these guys, like, first of all, the physicality,
Yeah.
but like, and like the acer out mentality, right?
Yeah.
That started right around that time.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like coaches are like, nah, green light.
Let's
Like,
go.
Whereas
We don't have to run a next
for
play
us, it
anymore.
was
We ain't
kinda
got to
like-
run a next play anymore.
like you
If-
can't
Yeah.
miss 4 serves in a
Right.
match.
No.
Or like for one player or something, Whereas now it's like, just get 2 aces and you can, an ace or 2 and you can miss 4. That's fine.
Yeah. Do you feel the same way on the beach?
Yeah,
Same kind of the
but
same
not
thing?
many.
Yeah.
There's only a handful of people who can do it,
Yeah.
and they're.
James Shaw has got a gnarly one.
So James is in that. He's in that class, but the
For
problem is, and this was Evandro. It's the consistency, right? Because if you're missing and you're not making these aces, you're losing the match for your team, in my opinion.
Right.
You're a big block. If you're getting aces, you're probably a huge blocker at the net as well, And so that's the problem. But then you have the Evandros who actually hitting these aces consistently, but his 80% is now like still can get aces, right? And early on, it was like me and Hyden playing Evandro. It was like, man, we know he's going to bomb. Let's just play defense. Just get it up anywhere. We don't let him get aces. He'll get 1 or 2, whatever. But we weren't going to get aced off the court by him. And that was the whole strategy. And then he'd start missing, and then boom, we win the match.
There it is.
But then he got more consistent with it over the years. And like when that thing's on and you're just playing defense the whole time and he's still getting ace, and you're like, now he's winning you matches. And so he's the greatest server ever now, I'd say.
I think so.
Because he was able to make it consistent. James, like we saw he absolutely taking over matches. Absolutely, if you're on his team or you're him, the goal is to have him go for it. But they're still losing matches, I think, when it's not on. Like in Hermosa, I saw he just couldn't get it going, which is totally normal. But like maybe at this point he can have another option or some kind of bailout that's still a really good serve, but you can't have I missed 6 serves in a match and didn't give
and the league is the 15.
Yeah. You can't be missing 4 or 5. Yeah.
You just missed half the time.
Exactly. Yeah. But no, yeah, he's there. Hagen, right? Hagen has done a good job with it. He's fairly consistent. He can change it up. He hits a hybrid, then he'll hit a float, and then he'll bomb one or
Very disguised too, because it's the
Yeah.
same toss.
yeah, exactly.
It's a low toss, and it's a spinless low toss, and you're like, he's going Florida, and all of a
Mhm.
sudden, whap, whap,
It's hard.
whap, whap, whap.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, you're right about what's his name, because he's like right now he's in a league and he can beat anyone in the league, but he's a year removed from losing to Jeff Samuels and like
Who's
Chase
that?
Frischman. Shaw.
Shaw.
Right.
Yeah, he's still
I saw
fairly
him
raw, but
lose a game 3 to a team that he and Jordan Hott were like heavily favored to beat. And Chase Frischman
Him-
was the one
who was
that got
he
like
with?
4 races at the end. He was Jordan Hott.
oh yeah, Hoppy. Yeah.
Hoppy or Hop? Say that.
I think it's Hoppy.
All right. You help us with it. San Wannabe says
hope.
the Vikings jersey's terrible.
Terrible. You see that 808 too?
That's right. Represent
That's
the
custom.
808. He said,
Vikings. You'll never see someone ripping Vikings and 808 at the same
yes.
time.
2020 to
This guy's probably a
2022 by
Packer
far the best player in the U.S. That's what he said about you. That was cool.
I'll appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Aaron Wexler, we got questions. Sorry, I didn't want to cut in,
No,
but
no.
Yeah, this is live. We always want to take questions.
No, I love that. That's what's cool about this pod is that you guys can pull that
Yeah.
off.
It's the only way I stay ahead of guys like you, man. Right? Because right now viewership
Perfect.
for it's the most viewed in beach volleyball because regionally, like right now you got the South Bay on lock. If it was just this echo chamber, like you and Travis ruled the world, right?
Well, that's why I appreciate you doing
yeah.
this stuff. Like, I want to like encourage everyone, and that's something me and Travis like really set the intention for. Was like, we want to inspire and like motivate people to like create their own version of what we're doing,
and what better
and not
partner
look
too,
at
huh?
it like, oh, now we got competition with it, you know, like.
Right.
No, if we all do our part in our own, and I don't think everyone should start a podcast. Like that's not everyone's
for
thing.
sure,
That's
yeah.
not everyone's
Yeah.
thing. But like, do something that puts yourself out there, or grows, helps the sport in some way, whatever that is. And you created your own little niche, unique thing.
Yeah, and look, I didn't expect it to become what it was. I just wanted a nice forum.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like how Joe Rogan
you
started,
just
have
love
his
it.
friends
You
where we
love
could
it.
just talk whatever and have a good time.
Exactly.
And what it's
That's why
turned,
it's like, who cares how many?
yeah, like you're
viewers there if
probably
you're
my
having a
last
good conversation.
You're probably my last volleyball guest of the year. Like I got like
sweet.
22 people, like
Yeah.
infectious disease, someone,
Oh, cool.
person, some theater performers because I went to Marymount. So
Yeah.
some of my friends are doing like some Tony nominated stuff. So
Yeah. Infectious disease. Whoa.
well,
I
it's
saw an
everybody.
infectious disease specialist at one point.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know what was going on with me.
Yes. Actually, let's explore that.
Yeah, let's
okay.
do it.
USC, you hit the indoor scene hard. You and Riley probably became more brothers because brothers in arms.
Yeah, we were roommates all 4 years.
What? Let's go.
Yeah.
So you hit the AVP scene. You got Hyden, and Hyden's just such a great.
I went to Puerto Rico for 2 seasons and Turkey for 1.
Oh, that's right. Indoor. As a OH.
OH, yeah.
Nice. They're probably OH1 at that point.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so you do that. You hit the scene with Hyden. And Hyden's a great partner to have because he's a good ball control guy. And Hyden can play in Hawaii or New York. Like if if it needs to be personal, if he needs to be cold, he seems like a very good interchangeable person. And I got that when he played indoor on the indoor US team. People don't know he played in the indoor US team too, right? He played in '96 in the Olympics.
How crazy is that?
Yeah, they called him. Yeah,
and he was like the hottest hitter going into that. Like it didn't. They had bad chemistry on that team with Beal and the head coach and everyone. So they just
Fred Sturm.
They just were in a bad. Had a bad energy going into it, I think. Bad timing, but yeah, he was like one of the hottest hitters going into that too in '96.
Yes, '96 Olympics.
And he just stopped playing.
Good for him. He got out early though. But go ahead, sorry.
No, for sure. Hyden's just I would say he's the real professor. You know, like if Raji's the professor, then I don't know, what does that make Hyden?
Right.
First of all, give credit to Raji because Hyden was a student of the game when he came out. And asked Raji about a bunch of stuff, and Raji actually helped Hyden, taught him a little bit about where it's at. So Hyden saw the professor as the professor. He went in as a student, and in my opinion, even leveled up in terms of how he saw the game and how just freaking brilliant he is. Because I got him in my last tournament. I got him to come back and sit on my bench. Man, I was like, all right.
Wasn't that great?
It wasn't just like recency bias. Hyden is amazing. For my brain, the way that I see the game, like he and I can just one word, hey, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yep, got it. Boom, I execute. I look at him, yep, good call. Or whatever, or I say it back. Or it was just
And you guys
so
were jump
easy.
setting.
Oh
You guys
my
were doing
God.
a lot of things that they're doing now. Like
Yeah, we did. We don't really get
I remember
too much
World
credit.
Series of beach volleyball.
We were one of the only teams doing jump set a little bit. That was me being a kid
Well, he
and
ain't
just
using
excited.
his hands at all. Yeah,
No, but I remember him being like, if you jump set and mess it up, like you're done. Like it was like, because it wasn't really a thing. So
right.
I always felt pressure to not do stuff, but I was still like just being a kid and instinctually like having fun with it. And I thought it was cool. I like highlight, making highlight plays. But yeah, we definitely were. And then the fast option offense, like off a dig, shoot it to the blocker, comes down, opens up with his arm open like a middle blocker, right? And he just shoots it in there. And like the transition is like, we had one of the fastest transition offenses in the world for sure.
really
Probably the
loved it.
fastest at that time.
At the time,
that
Hyden
we were-
had open nets though.
Yeah, and
like
that was all
you're,
John.
You're hitting on to.
It was
John-
all John,
Okay.
like coming up with it, and he was gonna like be like, he was gonna push it as far as I had the capacity to perform, and I took a lot of pride in not ever letting his asks not not being able to execute on his asks. He's like, if we do this, then ideally we can turn this into that. I could do that.
Let's do
Everything. I can do it. I can do it. Watch.
Sounds like a plan.
Oh, I missed it once. No, that wasn't it. I got it. So I took a lot of pride in that, and it was cool. It was like the most fluid, like machine like thing that we were running, and it was awesome. So different and equally as enjoyable and beautiful as like what me and Trev ended up creating as well. But so different.
I saw you do it, and then I saw the Polish.
Yes, the Polish took it to a new level.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And we actually beat them because they're about my age, right? And they were still, it was like two young guys versus me, the young guy, and a veteran. So like I kind of had the advantage there. But once it clicked for them, they took it to an even higher level. And it was like, whoa, these guys are reinventing the game. And that was around the similar time, like when me and Hyden were just finishing up, or when I got sick, that's when they really took it. And then, of course, the Swedes later came in.
Right. Yeah, well, fluidity is the key, right? You're not going to have jump sets without, first you have to get rid of the deep dish. Because if you're jump setting, you're deep dishing, you know what it looks like? It looks like a game of taps.
Yeah.
The game of taps, like your feet have to be like not on the ground when you're holding the ball.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah, it looked like taps. You can't do that. So you've already had good fluidity.
Yeah, it's funny. Like the
which
deep part of it, I think is okay, but it's the back down, because I take it pretty low.
It looked like side out.
I've changed it over the years, but like you can take the ball low. I think people get that wrong. Like you can't take that low and dip it. No, you just can't have the dip. But if you come straight up from your chin and it's only going up, you can take it low.
You can take it low. What you can't do is take it low and then from the low point bring it lower, right?
You just can't bring it down at
you
all.
ain't trying to,
Nowadays, it's like that's literally the only rule. Is like the ball can't go down once you touch your hands. You got to come straight through it.
The whole time you're talking, I'm looking for the side out clip.
You're good. Oh yeah.
Let's see if we can.
Dude.
Hold on,
Bad.
We gotta go back.
This is one of the, what do you call it? Like a cult classic kind of thing? Or like a,
and everybody like,
what do you call these like, it's like Sharknado, classic. Right? Cult classic. Yeah.
And it's a cult classic because it's a B movie with B actors. But if you
Is it B? I was gonna say D at least.
Yeah. B. I was being generous, right?
So bad.
Like,
but it's so bad that it's good. If it was a little better, it'd be worse.
Actually, let's go on the camera one, see if we could just show the audience what we're looking at. There it is. Let's go Monroe Clark. Let's press play.
This is raw. Oh god.
Let's go Monroe Clark. Let's go.
What was that? Oh, Stokey.
Stokely.
Oh, Stokey. Oh, how did I not see that coming? Dude, like.
But everyone.
Who's in charge of continuity in these?
Well,
the
problem
who's
was
the script supervisor here?
Well, the problem was everything about the movie had respect for the sport. Like he's teaching his kid how to play. Hey, you don't stiffen your hands, this or that, or don't wear, so everything about the sport was like respect, and beach volleyball players are loving it.
It's just so hard
And then
to
the
watch.
last play of the game, you go through all of this respect for the sport and the
Yeah.
skill and like the culture, and
Like
the last play of the
sideways
sport.
spinning, like it looked like he was trying to like reverse block it backwards or something.
You said, "What are you doing?"
That was Rollo Vincent, right?
Yes, that's,
Rollo.
Randy Stokes is Rollo Vincent.
So I play fantasy football,
Yeah.
and Nick Lucena's fantasy football name is Rollo Vincent. And I didn't know because we started like 10 years ago.
Yep.
So I hadn't watched the movie, I don't think.
Yeah,
And so I was like, I don't get it, Nick. But then I realized later.
yeah, he came on. He was actually episode 200.
Oh yeah.
I'm on 253 now, but I asked him, I said, if I get to 200, will you come on? And he said, yeah. He kept his word. So
Oh, those guys.
And his
those guys
intro-
love being a part of the.
and his
part of the
intro was a side out thing.
sport. Oh, of course,
Yeah.
of course.
It was like,
I'm kind of jealous. I'm not gonna lie. Like because I'm kind of connected to the film industry.
mm-hmm.
I keep trying to push my wife to like, let's make something volleyball. Like make something for the volleyball community. And I'm like, I'll take acting classes. I want to be
Yeah.
in it, even if it's a small role. Like I want a real actor to like entertain the people. But she has no interest.
No.
She just laughs at me. I'm like, damn it,
yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
Dude, our wives are smart, man.
Yeah, they are.
They're
Damn
just, like I'm an
You're
above
not
average.
that cool, Trevor.
Yeah, right.
And
Well,
you're
listen.
really bad at acting.
I'm an above average kid from Brooklyn, all right? Meaning I could survive anywhere in the world. But
Mhm.
sometimes you have these relationships, so you run into someone who's smart enough for both of you. And I'm comparing our wives again, but we're pretty,
Yeah.
they're lucky too, because we're good people, we're good men.
Right.
So, I mean, don't get it twisted, but
Right.
man, just sometimes they're just smart enough for the
Yeah.
both of us, right?
We're just smart enough to marry him.
So let's draw the picture. You hit the AVP scene and the international scene by storm. Like everyone knew who John Hyden was, but you're up there, you're blocking, you're hitting on two, your jump serving aces, going to
Yeah.
the net, and like in a minute and a half, you can come up with 5 points on
Yeah.
aces and blocks. The
Yeah.
two fastest way to score a point.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, 2017 comes,
Uh-huh.
and you're benched. And everybody was asking, what the hell is autoimmune disease?
Right.
What is that? He looks fine to me.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Is he going to grow an extra tail or something?
Right. Well, until I walked out to the beach,
So
30 pounds
lighter.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me walk us through finding out the moment you got diagnosed with this,
Mhm.
and also give our audience I guess a brief synopsis. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
fair. It's not fair of what autoimmune disease is. When
Yeah,
did you
yeah.
find out you were diagnosed? Walk me through that
Yeah.
that chronology.
So we had the World Tour Finals in Toronto. Me and Hyden won the bronze.
Mhm.
We're on the podium there after Rio Olympics with Alison and them. So I was like super high on expectation. This is like peak setting expectations for myself. Like I'm on this podium right now. I'm young. I'm 27, 26. Yeah, 27 at the time, I think.
Wow.
I'm like, now I'm going into my prime right now. Like it's go time. I'm about to take over. I'm about to be that guy for the U.S. I wanted to be, at least. I thought Jake and Phil and these guys were getting older to where they wouldn't be able to compete at a high level. And that wasn't the case. They kept going. But so I have ankle surgery because I had a posterior impingement, a cyst in my ankle. I had to get it removed, or I don't know if I had to, but yeah, it made sense. I had to get it removed. And then 5-6 weeks after, inflammation in my hands start hurting. I get like rheumatoid arthritis kind of feeling. People don't maybe know what that feels like, but it just hurts. Fingers are inflamed and like it hurts to like make a fist or like squeeze your knuckles or stuff like that. Starts, I'm going to doctors. They're like, oh, maybe it's this, that, throwing stuff out there. Knees start getting inflamed, elbows, all my joints. I'm starting to get like pitted edema. Like when you get off a plane, you can sink your fingers into your leg and the finger marks stay. Stuff like that. I'm like, what the hell is going on? But I just continue whatever, we're trying to figure it out, but I got to train. So I'm training like elite level, trying to prepare for 2017 season. And it just gets worse and worse and worse. I'm blocking with boxing gloves on because it hurts my hands so much. We're like trying to change practices to cater to me until like I remember one practice, easy ball comes, I need to go bend down and like scoop it up for Hyden, and I couldn't go all the way down because my knees were so inflamed. And I just stopped, and I was just like, I couldn't get it. And Hyden after practice was like, hey man, something's wrong. Like you need to stop. Like he had to tell me because that's how like driven I was, right? So we get the blood test. They're like, what is going on here? Your liver enzyme levels or your, some of my levels are just like crazy through the roof, like 20x kind of thing. And it's like, okay, something's wrong here. Seeing everyone, infectious disease,
Yep.
The rheumatologist, they were going to do a liver biopsy on me. There was all this stuff they're doing. Luckily for me, USA Volleyball sent me up to, it was getting worse and worse. Like it's hard for me to sit in this chair kind of thing. Hard for me to get up from the toilet or whatever. So everything's just getting worse and inflamed. Send me up to Utah. Muscle biopsy. There's a giant scar on my quad here, you could see, and they take out a piece of my quad and they diagnosed me with dermatomyositis, autoimmune disease, inflammatory muscle disease. So autoimmune is basically your immune system just gets confused. It starts recognizing good cells as bad cells, stuff like that. Everyone's autoimmune disease is unique to them, so it's really hard to diagnose. And it's just like, it's hard. For example, I have dermatomyositis. Dermato is
Wait, can I see that scar again? I want to go on camera.
Yeah.
Right there. Okay, that's the piece of your quad right there. Right cool, here. Man. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's all good.
No, it's just interesting. I was like, show me that again.
Yeah.
I'm like, is this weird?
Only your pod can actually do that.
Yeah, my tech guy's not even here either. Would have been better.
But anyway, after 5-6 months or whatever, I got the diagnosis. So, and then they threw me on this prednisone steroid, super high level. And I get in touch with a rheumatologist that's going to set up the plan for me and blah blah blah. Inflammatory muscle disease. That's my certain thing. He puts me on the meds. I've worked with a naturopathic doctor. One of the things at the time, and I just found out this isn't true anymore, the research has found out, you can't work out when you're inflamed. So me being the most, energizer bunny, I've never stopped moving in my whole life. That's how I work hard. That's how I find fulfillment. That's how I decompress when I'm feeling bad. I go and move. I do activities, right? I surf, body surf,
hike,
golf,
hike Maui or something.
Yeah, all during my rest time. Like that's my rest time for me. So I had to stop. I had to do nothing. If there was muscle fatigue or burn, then I could do really long-term damage to my muscles. I don't want that. So I had to listen. I'm just fully sidelined, can't do anything. Can't play, I'm watching the sport. Obviously, mentally, psychology, it's terrible for me. Going a bit crazy, varying levels of, depression, anxiety kind of stuff. And I think normal levels that anyone would experience when, I think everyone experiences it on different spectrums. I don't like to say that I was depressed or anything because I know that some people actually have like deeper levels.
But you're only
of it.
speaking to your wheelhouse.
Exactly,
you can't speak to them, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But it was really hard. So psychologically, I finally found okay, what can I do to stay productive and what can I do to make the most of this, feel good again? And I found I can still get better at volleyball because there's this mindfulness thing that I've always been working on, and it's just hard to put in time to do the mindfulness, to make yourself do the meditations and the blah, blah, blah. Well, I have nothing but time now. So I really leaned into that stuff, and I used it to stay sane, but also to train my mind to become stronger as an athlete once I came back. And I always believed I could come back, despite Dr. Google, don't.
Right.
You Google it, It's gonna scare you.
Yeah, and they're gonna say you're done.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then Doc was like, definitely was making it a point, like, you might not be able to play. Like, just know that that's on the table. And I was like, nah.
No, go deliver somebody's baby.
Yeah, yeah.
You're
Right.
not a baby. That's
Right.
I mean, that's our mentality, or yours certainly.
Yeah, yeah. Pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much. But also, I had to like understand that that was on the table, and I had to like, okay, things are out of my control, but what can I do? I can learn about the game, right? And I don't love watching volleyball, to be honest. Like, I don't watch after tournaments when I'm out because it hurts me to see people win. I just want to win the tournament. If I'm watching someone else win the tournament, it hurts me. I don't like it. But I do like studying the game. So what did I do? I called Glazebrook. I called AVPA. Can I broadcast for you guys? Now I'm gonna be on site watching every match, talking over. So like they threw me on the live stream. They just made it up. Literally, Josh said, "I'll split the flight with you to New York if you want." Like, because he was just trying to support me, really.
Right.
And they were like talking about doing it, but they didn't really have it dialed yet. I was like, deal. So I fly out, we split the cost, and I do that first live stream for them. And it kind of and then I realized that I liked it. I was learning more about the sport, right? So now I'm becoming stronger mentally. I'm watching the game from the outside. I'm watching more athletes. I'm studying the girls now and seeing what separates them and what separates certain athletes. So I found ways to get better while I was out. And then about 2 years. It was just like, hey, Doc, let's do a blood test. Yeah, you're not there yet. Oh, you're getting better. A month later, you're getting a little better. A month later, oh, you went all the way back. You're slid. We're still at least 5 months out. Okay, get better, get better. I just kept going up and down until a year and a half, almost 2 years later. And then finally got the diagnosis, got cleared. I was down skin and bones, all that. And I got cleared to come back, and I came back
with a vengeance.
I came back with a vengeance. I came back better. I came back with the right mentality and doing things for the right reasons. I partnered with Trevor because, man, I want to play for the love of it. I've been out for so long. Like, if I can play with, because Trevor wasn't like quite, he wasn't quite to his dominance
But
yet.
Trevor was a winner, though.
I knew Trevor. I think I understood more of his potential than other people may have at that time because I was so close with him. Yeah, I knew he was a winner. And because his game's kind of deceiving. From the outside, you're not like, he's just like physically dominating people,
he just
right?
wins
He doesn't
games.
look like Taylor
He
Sander.
just wins matches.
Yes, he just wins. Exactly. And so I partnered with him. I was like, I get to play with my friend. Like, it's high level. We'll be fine. Third tournament, we win the first World Tour event, which is the first event of Olympic qualifying, and now we're leading Olympic qualifying. All of a sudden, I'm like, well, I guess we're partnering. I guess we're doing this. But to come back to the autoimmune stuff, what I realized, and I, started the podcast during that time. So the autoimmune is the reason I have the podcast, because I took a break. Travis interviewed me during that time. I got into the public speaking part through broadcasting.
Right.
So I realized that I can talk about the sport, and people were fairly entertained with it. That's why we have the podcast.
We were pretty close. When you were commentating in 2017, I talked to Jeff Conover, and I'm like, that guy knows the game, but he needs a setup guy. I was only here for 1 year.
Yeah.
And no one knew me at the time.
Right.
But Jeff Conover did.
Yeah.
So Conover hooked me up with Josh. And it didn't without burying anyone, because I don't really know what happened or what did or didn't happen. It didn't happen between me and Josh, and that was okay. But at the time, I was like, this guy knows the game.
But he doesn't know how to broadcast.
He needs a
He
setup
doesn't know the
guy.
X's and O's.
And the support system was great, because the comment section was like, "Oh my God, you're doing great," and I'm like, "He ain't doing great. He's doing all right." I'm not saying. Listen, I'm not saying you suck. You were really
No,
really good.
I just didn't have the fundamentals of broadcasting. Yeah.
And that's what I was
just a
saying.
guy
I told the
talking.
crowd, but the crowd was so encouraging because they finally had someone that they had in the booth that knew what the hell they were talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, at that time, we just wanted someone that knew what the hell they were
I can't
talking
stand.
about.
Yeah, exactly. The X's and O's
know?
stuff of like,
Yeah.
oh, they shouldn't have hit it there because the defender was there. Like, yeah, clearly, like they, like that was Oh man,
Look at he's like, don't get me started.
when you hear broadcasters and like especially like we're saying stuff on some of the biggest levels that are really just so basic and just like kind of embarrassing to hear, like some of the stuff.
Well, I had a broadcasting experience because the City University Championships in New York, I would call that as a color guy.
Yeah.
The NVL, which was in Hermosa Beach the year before that, I call that entire center court for that.
Yeah.
So at the time I was still a pure indoor guy and trying to familiarize myself with the beach, but I'm like, this guy, in my heart of hearts, I think I'm the best. Because that's how you feel when you play.
Right.
If there was an actual competition, a single elimination competition for freaking color commentaries and play-by-play guys, I promise you, I'd have 2 forfeits before the finals.
Gotcha.
Trust me.
Yeah.
So I was really glad. And I'm speaking as a fan, not as a broadcaster or whatever, but as a fan. I was glad that they finally had someone up there that knew what the hell they were talking about. And then from there, you were, I don't know if you know this or not, you were kind of the pioneer that were like, we should do this for the semis and finals. We should do this for the whole day Saturday.
Yeah, well, at that time, right, because it was a rebuild. It was a rebuilding tour, right? Like, obviously, the guys back in the day were. This has been done for years and years and years. The players being in the booth in every sport, and but yeah, for the rebuilding tour, for this Donald Sun tour, they didn't have it. Yet. Right.
But man, that's your journey. This is where Act 3 comes. Your journey, Act 3, I call it, come back with a vengeance. You and Trevor. I'm not just talking about the domestic scene. Like, I knew after Trevor won with Reed Pretty, he was going to win with everybody. The whole Never Trevor thing happened within indoor play.
That's because I broke my hand.
Yeah.
In Vienna. That's why he got to play with Reed.
Yeah, it fell in his lap.
Sucks because we were both like.
You knew you were going to win that year. In your heart of hearts.
I didn't know, but because it was my year back. I had been in the finals twice with Hyde. I had match point.
Right.
A few years before that, and I had to sit out all those years, watch these people win Manhattan. While I'm sitting on the sideline, I had been in the finals the last 2 years. I had match point that I blew, and so it was like bubbling up inside of me. I break my hand, and then Trevor and Reed just have this little glorious little 1 week run and win it, and I'm just like, first of all, support my guys, supported them through it, but like. Crushing my soul. Like, are you kidding me? Like,
I know. Yeah.
Because
there's a part of you that wishes you were out there, right?
Yeah, but then you see me the next time I make the finals, and I was probably my best performance I ever put out there. It was like locked in and absolutely not gonna.
Well,
I was on one. That first Manhattan when we got back was just like I was on one because there was so many years of me waiting for that moment and just so pissed that first of all I wasn't on the pier already, and then having to watch other people win it without me even getting a shot, and I was just like, nah, I'm taking. You gotta have this.
Yeah.
Well,
you and Trevor were like basically Trevor and Reed on steroids. It was because they knew how to win. They had Loyola, who I didn't think was a real coach. I think he became a real coach later, but Loyola knew how to win.
Yes.
So some people don't know how to coach and this and that. And at that level, there ain't nobody teaching you how to bump. Okay?
Well, I'll tell you what. But you're talking to me and Trevor, right? Like these two dudes who grew up playing the sport, and like Loyola and he and I, we all spoke the same language.
Yes.
We didn't need Loyola to be like, hey, like overcoach us or anything.
Right.
He doesn't know how to overcoach.
No, but he knows how to win.
He knows how to look you in the eyes and be like, it's go time. Turn the beast on right now. Because he was that guy.
Yes.
He was just that specimen, but he knows energy. He knows what to say. He knows what you're going through. When he says something, he's been in the arena. He's got credibility behind it. He's been the top team in the world.
He definitely has street credit.
So he was a great coach for Trevor. And he's really good training because he understands the Brazilian style training. I'm a big fan of.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's over repping, but there was certain stuff he taught us and drills that he introduced us to. I was like, oh, those are really helpful.
Well, the over-repping is more of a Pompeo thing, right? Like, I worked with Pompeo for 3 years endless summer.
There's nothing more valuable than a good rep.
Yeah.
Right? But as you get older in your career, you're like, I want quality over
Right.
quality over quantity.
It's almost like if you're an MMA fighter, right? Like if you're in your 30s, you're not sparring like in fact, you might not spar at all. You're like,
and
dude,
you don't need it.
I'm gonna get knocked out.
muscle memory.
I'm gonna get knocked out 3 weeks before my match sparring. Are you stupid or something? Yeah, but Pompeo, the thing I liked about the Brazilians, when English is not your first language, and you choose your words wisely, less is more. Like you don't need, if I'm your coach in a timeout, you don't need 2 paragraphs.
No.
You need a Brazilian to say good serves makes good defense.
They always have a saying, by the way. And they're translating it from Brazilian.
Yeah.
For some reason they all speak in sayings.
Yeah.
Like little like one-liners.
Yeah.
And I love
But think about what I just
about
what I just said, and everyone listens to the podcast. Aaron, I still see you. Good serves makes good defense. That would take me 2 paragraphs.
Right.
He and this guy in English is not his first language, and you got 3 things from that.
And I'll tell you what, you tell me a whole paragraph, I might get nothing from it.
Exactly.
You tell me a bullet point, I'm gonna absorb the whole thing, and I'm gonna make what I translate it into what that means for me, and we move on. Versus you trying to instill all these things in my head right now. I'm like, man, I'm just trying to be present. I'm not going to remember that all in the moment.
You should do a film.
I can remember a bullet point, and I know exactly what to do with that information. But you try to give me all this information now.
You should definitely be in a volleyball film. Because I could picture me saying something long, right? And you're listening to me. I'm like, did you get all that? And you're just like,
bro.
You're like, exactly. Your face is like.
Yeah. I told you. I told you I was ADHD. I'm different. I went to this other school for a reason. Homework and math and that kind of stuff was hard for me for a reason. But I learned how through sports to work through my instincts, and then through mindfulness and all that, it ended up being a superpower of mine, not being able to focus, because it took me down this path of how to bring out my how to just be in the present moment. And then bring out my best through the present moment. So I think it actually worked in my favor. I joke about it, people joke about it, and I love it. But I'm telling you, this is like, you players out there that want to laugh about it and think that it's a weakness of mine. I'm telling you right now, if you can figure out what I'm doing, and you have all this information in your head, and you're able to access it from the present moment, you're going to be way better than you are now.
Promise you that. Yeah. And I think I'm just going to give you the mic drop on that one, because you said it perfectly. And my habit of wanting to talk after you has got to stop.
No, it's all good. It's a good conversation. There's also, like, we were talking about the autoimmune stuff earlier, right? And something that came from that, and I just realized it, like I said, I went to Dallas and accepted this award from the Myositis Association. But when I went to the Olympics and when I got, more of this recognition and people started talking about this myositis, this autoimmune disease, like you said, people didn't know what it was all about. And so I started to learn. I got people reaching out to me. I got the Myositis Association reaching out. Like, there's a lot of organizations trying to create awareness around it. And then I hear from people, we're inspired by hearing your story because of you getting through it and doing something like going to the Olympics, because my father or my mother or my sister can barely walk or died from it. Like, a lot of people have passed away from it. And so by paying more attention and what I've learned is that it's a matter of awareness. Like, this is a rare, invisible disability that's very hard to diagnose, and not that many people know about it. Doctors don't even know about it. So that's become a little bit more of a mission of mine that I've fallen into, is creating awareness around this thing called myositis. And we want the general community, we want more doctors around the country to know about it and just hear it, and I get messages all the time. Hey, my friend or someone or me, I have this thing and I can't figure it out. We can't diagnose it. It's like, we're trying to create awareness around it so that people to go to their doctor and they're like, hey, can you check me for myositis? Because if it goes undiagnosed, it's so dangerous that if it's long enough, it's led people to death. But if it gets treated, like there's researchers out there, there's people working on it. If it gets treated the right way, the other side of it is, look at me. I went to the Olympics, right? Like, we all have our different different versions of it, and there's polymyositis, dermatomyositis, there's IBM, which is a really
IBM, yeah.
yeah. So there's all these different versions of autoimmune, but like my point is like even for the listeners, like take note of it. If you ever hear someone that can't diagnose something, at least mention, hey, maybe check out myositis. Go to the Myositis Association website. They have all these resources on there for that person to at least go explore it, bring it to their doctor, because they're just not, it's just not coming up. There's not enough awareness around it, but it's growing, and it can actually save lives and save people's.
It also gives the power back to the patient. Like,
Yeah.
if doctors aren't talking about it, the patients have to.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, how many doctors are talking about
Not
that?
that the doctor doesn't want to. They just, it's just the research is growing and it's fairly new. So we just need to create awareness about it right now.
100%.
Yeah.
I worked in a cardiology practice for 17 years, and
Yeah, you get it.
my boss. Well, I was actually going to ask randomly, are you a vegetarian?
No.
Okay, good. That's an excuse to be a snob. No, because there were some things about myocarditis that for the last 10 years were cardiologists. Some of them are practicing cardiologists. They're part of the research facilities. Ours was Weill Cornell Medical College.
Yeah.
And there's some of them, not general practitioners write an RX, get a check, right? But like you said, if it's brought to them, they're not going to be disinterested.
Yeah.
This is their wheelhouse. And like you just said, they want to help.
Yeah.
But I just find it uniquely interesting that the power dynamic, it still lies with the patient, and the influence, and that's
you can't
amazing.
over rely on doctors too. Like
Right.
and this isn't a knock on doctors.
No.
But like, think about, they're not perfect. Like, these people are people doing their job. They're educated in a particular way from a particular university or whatever. Hopefully they're educating themselves beyond that, and they're trying to learn as much as they can, but like, they don't know everything. They're not perfect. Everything they say isn't perfect. They might be pushing drugs on you when, like, for me, I was like, it's a no-brainer to absolutely adopt the Western medicine and all these drugs, and it helped me get back to ground zero fast. But
I'm so happy.
what about the
that.
naturopathic approach? Like, I want to naturally do. I don't want to rely on like that. There's no logic to me in that. Like, I'm going to rely on drugs for the rest of my life. Like, I don't feel like that's a path to longevity. No, I'm going to clean up my eating. I'm going to clean up everything I do. I'm going to research and test and study my own body, and hopefully journal, like, how this is hard work, but like, journal, how do you feel when you eat certain things? Like, I did elimination diets, and I had the time at that time. I had the excuse to do it, but do things, like, learn your body, man. Like, people, you can't just be like, I'm just going to keep eating what I'm eating and I'll take the drugs and the drugs will do all the work. No, like, bring your body back to homeostasis. Like, what does your body want? What will it thrive best in? And let it heal itself.
You know what the cool thing about naturopathic and homeopathic doctors and specialists are? They said the only sad part about their job is once they help someone, they most likely will never see them again.
That's how you know it's a good job, because they're not doing it for the money.
Yes, and it's like, congratulations, and because of this, we won't see each other again.
I taught you how to take
drawback of their job.
Instead of fixing you and making you come back, I taught you how to fix yourself.
Yep.
And now you have that for the rest of your life. You're making a bigger impact.
Look, I was never
they're both
sick
necessary.
like
They're both useful, but like, like, I mean, look at you, healthy and
55.
Not so everyone's got a different body type and whatnot. So make that whatever it is for you. But
well, I put on during COVID, I put on something called the Quarantine 15 that I'm not happy about, but
it's all right. You owned it.
It really made me just refocus on things that got me in shape in the first place.
Yeah.
Like, I never had autoimmune disease, but what I did have was I was 265 pounds a few years ago. And my boss wrote a book called Dr. What Should I Eat? And it started making me pay attention to the glycemic chart and this and that.
Yeah.
Foods that actually cause joint pain, muscle stiffness, and all that stuff.
Why don't I feel good?
And I lost 65 pounds.
Off of, like, what was the main reason that you think?
I started eating 5 times a day, smaller portions. They said that was for metabolism purposes, even though that's changed drastically.
Okay.
I understood that some of the foods that I actually liked were good for me. Like, I know cold spinach was a good source of iron, though I did have to watch my digestive system.
Right.
I know red meat has B12 and stuff like that. I know salmon has omega-3. And there are certain things that I was lacking in my blood work that through no medication, zero medication.
Yeah.
All of it through eating. You know, even dark chocolate and as an aphrodisiac, even strawberries for skin complexion.
Right.
Right. And I went from 265 to 200. Right now I'm 214.
All off diet.
Yeah. Well, I'm also ex-military, so as far as the workout plan is concerned,
Yeah.
like well, actually I got as low as 186.
Just blood flow alone. Like there's people out, and I know like
no, go ahead.
You know, there's probably a lot of athletic people listening. Maybe I don't know, but people just. You don't have to work out like crazy, but like get your heart pumping so that blood's flowing and everything's moving. It's like a car. You can't leave your car on. You have to like get the fluids pumping through the tubes and like warm your car up and like for it to be running well. It's the same as your body. Like get the engine running, get that heart running and like moving. You don't have to sprint hills. Or like go crazy with it.
It could be fun too, but
Just
like you see, you don't have to.
For some of us, that's stimulating, and we like pushing ourselves and maybe getting even more gains. But like,
this is important because certain people that are looking for a second chance at volleyball, life helps. Like when I did this, I was 32 or 31. You know, and look, there's levels to this. Exactly. I was never a beach player. I was a grass player and an indoor player. But look behind you. I got big old checks and stuff like that. So it gave me a Potsdam took 5th, which I guess is respectable. I don't know.
For sure. I want to check out Potsdam, by the way.
You should go because 1, they love you out there. And 2,
I want to bring Sandcast out, actually.
You should.
Travis has been so busy lately.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've only been retired for a month. But.
And you got a lot of people that go to that. Like Cody went to that. He played with Jaco Ratia. Mark Burek, I went for his Hall of Fame induction. And Adam Roberts, their Hall of Fame induction ceremony.
Oh, really?
For Pottstown, they have a Hall of Fame thing.
Oh, Pottstown and Hall of Fame.
Adam Roberts.
No way.
Adam Roberts.
Good for A-Rob.
I mean, talk about a long time. Yeah, I always consider you a long timer. That guy's he's been around for a minute.
Maybe double, right?
But I think the point I was trying to make was no matter what level you play, anything that gives you a second chance at doing something you love at volleyball life, do it. This gentleman here is the best of the best in the world, not just in the country, in the world.
Yeah.
Chronologically speaking, I know we're running out of time, but
I gotta go to the bathroom.
I know. You want to go now?
I drank too much coffee. Yeah, I'll jump in.
Yeah,
you can talk to the people.
Yeah, I can. We're live. That match behind you, by the way, I was coaching that. I was.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember that. You were playing with Kame.
Yep, I do.
And I was coaching Jeff Samuels. And,
I like the scoreboard.
And Rafi Paulus. Isn't that great?
Sorry, Raf.
Yeah. There you go. Dude, we were just like, and you guys were play running like, I mean, we were watching you guys warm up, and I was like, look, if they're in system, just do what you got to do.
Yeah.
We got to jump serve. We can't allow them to do that. But the first game, you guys, the first hit, Kane was really good at taking care of first hit, and you as a former OH, same thing.
Yeah, and when you get him a good set, like he has one of the most complete arsenals, like in terms of how many spots he can hit when he's in a rhythm. Yeah, because he jumped like deceivingly high.
Doesn't he? And he's one of those guys that gets in the air fast.
He hits over people.
You ever see some of those jumpers? We'll use Taylor. Taylor doesn't need like this long approach and to get into the air fast. That explosion thing.
Taylor's mechanics is just poetry in motion.
Rafa Rodriguez, another fast jumper. Deceptively high. Doesn't look. He looks like
sure. He had a great arm.
Yeah, and fluid killer hands too. His hands were just like Skylar Del Sol worthy.
Speaking of volleyball, I'm about to go down to the sand actually for the first time. I was gonna go check out the USA practice.
Yeah, that's where we are. Yeah, the men started 11. So, lastly, I wanted to talk about you and Trevor. Yeah, in my opinion, at the time, I thought you're the best team in the world because with styles making matchups, you're playing style. Yeah, I saw that. Even though Mullen Sorum could beat better teams that you can't beat, I knew that you could beat them because you know how styles make matchups. And I thought that you were a pretty gnarly one for them. Yeah, and the Russians. I thought the path to the Olympic goals was through the Russians and the Norwegians at the time.
Yeah, we certainly weren't the top team in the world, because to do that you have to be the top team in the world, as far as I'm concerned, right? but yeah, against like Mole and them, we had all the confidence in the world, and
A little double block.
yeah, that was just fun, man. Like this playing on that stage, and we knew it was neck and neck. They ended up pulling away with like, a point or two at the end kind of thing, like against the Russians who ended up winning the world championships. It was like
That year, yeah.
freaking back buckle ace, like just clutch, really good serve, like clap your hands,
Yep.
But man, playing with Trevor was just fun. And yeah, we were the best team for sure when we got team of the year. But it was our mentality, our energy that really did it. We weren't doing anything super special, but the chemistry in terms of just like Trev knew where I wanted it, when I wanted it. We didn't have to communicate that much. He's not like a high volume communicator.
Right.
There wasn't anything super complicated. It was all instinctual, feeling each other out. Our energy, like I knew his energy, he knew mine, and the psychological, we did the sports psych stuff. He's a bit more on top of that stuff than he puts out there,
He really is. Yeah.
No, he does. He puts in the work. Like he's into sports psychology. He's been doing it for years, but he does it on his own. He doesn't talk about it as much. He doesn't talk about much, right? Like he's soft spoken,
No.
but
Yeah, no, he was my shortest podcast episode.
It was the funnest. exactly. It was the funnest time of my career, I'd say. Like just playing with my friend, and one of the biggest heartbreaks was breaking up with him, even though it was my doing, because I could tell we just weren't built for the world tour, getting to that top tier. We were just scrap. We just
took it as far as you can go.
We scrap it. Yeah, it seemed like we squeezed all the juice out of it. And so I made the difficult decision to I see that Cam has all these tools, and
international experience.
I got to give it a shot. And it was like, cause it was just eating away at me. I was like, I gotta at least try and switch. Like I know what me and Trevor are, and we've done it. I think we can dominate AVP again. I think we can do well on the world tour, maybe qualify. But and his shoulder was hurt at the time, so we were struggling world tour wise a bit because he didn't have that heat. We didn't know what the shoulder, whatever. It was just my brain, my perfectionism. I gotta get better. We gotta grow. And I felt stagnant, so I changed at our peak, and that was brutal for me. It was by far the hardest emotional thing. But that's just me,
Yeah.
Like if I see a potential there, I have to do the hard thing to and sacrifice. It was a huge sacrifice to see it through. And then we ended up not connecting, me and Cam, as well as we would have liked. But we did all the respect is there because we did we checked all the boxes.
You really did.
I was able to at least be at the end of that being like, okay, I know that I went all in. Like we did the training, that, like every box I wanted to check. Whereas Trevor's like, no, I'm going to do me. Like I'm going to do what makes me best. I don't really want to do all your stuff that makes you. And I'm like, well, I want to be on a team where we do things my way, kind of, but which is like more. And
you just have a difference of opinion and new ideas.
Yeah, it was valid from both ends, and it was respect
like
is there. But
you're like brothers.
But
it wasn't
clearly,
personal.
It wasn't personal,
Yeah.
but like clearly, he's gonna take it personally and use it. Like that's what he does. He uses chips, and he kept it on the court. He kept it, fine. But for him, it was personal. For me, it was like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't want to do this to my friend, but I have to. Like the competitor in me has to see this through. So that sucked. And then losing, and then seeing him succeed, and put a little salt in the wound as well, which is totally valid.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, that sucked.
Nothing wrong with that.
In hindsight,
but that's a real feeling too. You just got to go through that and feel it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're talking about. The failures
wouldn't be the last time the first or last time you felt
and our
that
relationship's
way.
as strong as it's ever been now. And it's just a matter of me doing something difficult, facing the challenge, being vulnerable, going through it, failing, like I said, and then coming out using whatever I learned during that time and coming out stronger at the other end. But yeah, me and Trev, it sucks that it ended a little sooner than people would have liked. I know we were super entertaining. But that's just Bourne. Like, I just had to keep grabbing and trying to get
course.
more. There's, trying to get more and more and more. And then that one, it kind of backfired a bit. But that's just me being me.
How did the Olympics fall into your lap? You to me, you
Pretty
guys were
simple.
the best team in the country, and you guys were kind of in the catbird seat. And when you weren't looking, you failed to qualify for a tournament. Phil and Nick did some kind of
We're talking about me and Trev?
yeah. Phil and Nick frog leapt you guys, like on some last minute stuff.
Well, that was the Rio one where they partnered up late.
All right,
But then, yeah, me and Trev were, gosh, now
you lost to
went through so
Cayman
many-
Theo. There was a qualifier match. Like if you got into this match, I mean.
Was it? I forget.
It was weird.
I can't even remember.
No, but
anymore. I have
anyway,
selective memory.
we knew that you weren't going. We knew that it was Taylor.
Put it this way.
Taylor
It
and-
came down to the last tournament of
Right.
Olympic qualifying,
Yep.
Ostrava. Phil and Nick lose. They're out. Jake and Taylor lose. They're out. Jake and Taylor lose. Now it's, if Phil and Nick lose this match, Jake and Taylor are in, and it's between Trevor and me and Phil.
Right.
And then Phil and Nick lose. Taylor, Jake are in. They're the first team in. It all came down to this one tournament, like the last 4 rounds. So that's how close the race was. And this is a 1.5 year long race. And then Jake and Taylor lose. So we're like, okay, perfect. Now we're the last ones reigning. Our fate's in our hands. But we have to make the finals, I think it was. And so we win. We get to the quarters, Andre and George, and we lose to Andre and George. Jake and Taylor are in. Crushed my soul again.
Yeah.
Every time. I can't even exaggerate. Like, destroy me. But, more fuel to the fire, training hard, because I'm like, there's no way I'm effing letting these guys go to the Olympics, represent the country, be in the spotlight, blah, blah, blah. When I know what I do on big stages. And that's something I can actually say now that the career's over.
When the
I
lights are
want
on.
it to be that. I want it to be there. Yeah, when the lights are on, I play my best. I'm not saying that I wanted to do that. That's
No, it just
that's
is.
the facts of,
Right.
of what transpired in my career. And so I was training hard anyway. They're there. I'm training in Vegas because I'm with my brother. And then Jake calls me on the way back from... Jake's never called me in my life. I had his number because I had him on the podcast once. Dude, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Taylor's got blah, blah, blah. Trevor threw his back out. You want to come out? And I'm like, everything in my soul is like, I'm ready. I'm prepared mentally. I can do
Dude,
this.
if you could have teleported,
Yeah,
bam.
no, boom. Yeah. Jake turns around. He's on the phone still. I'm like, yeah, I'm here. It was like
man.
that. And then...
That would have been a great
But
commercial.
Taylor wasn't
I need
out
a
yet.
partner. Poof.
well, even more so to that point. Taylor hadn't pulled out of the tournament yet.
Right.
So it's like, hey, you want to just fly out in case? I was like, of course.
Yeah.
I'll fly across the world just in case I can play. 100%. Yeah, no. Drive home with my daughter. It's just me and her driving back from Vegas. Land, get a test. I have to do 2 tests. 2 days in a row I have to test, then get on the plane. And then I show up, wait in the hotel room. Taylor calls me. He didn't, wait for other people. He wanted to call me first. Hey, man, you're in, blah, blah, blah. We had a cool conversation, just respect,
Yeah, of course.
And then, so that moment, it was like, man, I'm here for you, Taylor. This is, I know how much it hurt me and meant to me to earn that spot.
Right.
So I just put myself in his shoes. Like, man, if I earned that spot and if I was in his shoes, like, I at least would want, man, it would feel good for me to have this guy come in and represent me at least in this, and me and my team, and not make it his thing,
Right.
So it wasn't about me when I showed up, which took pressure off, to be honest. It was like, I told the whole team, like, listen, guys, this is your experience. You earned this. This is your thing. I'm fortunate enough to be called up. I'm ready. I promise you I'm ready. I'll do whatever, but like I'm here to be a part of your guys' team and do whatever you guys need. And so that just set the energy really in a good place. And in hindsight, I've had conversations with Hildebrand and Rich and
Right.
Jake and Taylor, and we've all kind of bonded over that we all kind of came together in that way. Taylor Krebs, becomes a coach. He's FaceTiming in before every match, giving us the game plan. So he broke down the other team. It was so cool to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I went to the Olympics, led in, I guess, ninth is whatever.
Your side-out clip was 900, though, or like 910.
Yeah,
it was
so
ridiculous.
Well, people always said Jake's a good setter, and I told him, this is my set. And then he's like, you mean this? And I'm like, yep. And he just repeated it. And I was like, and I'll take a push. If I want to change it up, I'll just take a push out here. He's like, this you mean? I'm like, yep. And that was it. I was like, okay, we're good. My defense was, I had never played defense full time ever. I'd never been behind Jake's block. His block wasn't quite on, which I think
the level has something to do with that.
No. Well, Jake is completely capable of dominating at that level, but I know as a blocker that a good defender, timing and giving looks, gets the blocker blocks.
Got it.
And I did feel a little lost. I definitely was just like, I'm just going to simplify back here. I don't want to do too much. I did a good job. I did okay.
I thought you did.
Yeah, it was fine.
Look,
it was
you
fine.
broke pool.
It wasn't going to win the Olympics.
No, but you broke pool. But you, well, first of all, let's not get it twisted. Like I don't know if Jake and Taylor came in top 10, right?
No.
So, you know what I'm saying? So breaking pool was what they would have done if it were Taylor and Jake.
Yeah, no,
I'm just being real.
No,
yeah,
I could see that. Like in terms of the trend of where it was going.
Right.
We never actually know, right? Because Taylor never got
to
put his best foot forward.
Did you have Qatar in your pool? Did you play him in the playoffs?
No, that was our pool.
Okay.
That was the one team we lost to.
Right.
I felt like if we could have got some defensive stops, and we ended up losing to the Germans, which I actually felt good that match. I got us back into it a bit with my serve. Obviously, I was siding out, but we just couldn't. Defensively, we weren't getting the stops we needed. But yeah, I mean, the experience was amazing.
Yeah.
Now people call me, it's weird, like this whole label thing, but when I go to events, it's easiest for people to be entertained and get excited about hearing from me or wherever when you call me an Olympian. So everyone calls me, oh, the Olympian, Trevor, Olympian. It's like crazy because I'm like, man, the thing I don't like about it is that was mine and Trevor and Jose's journey together. And we did the same thing to get there, but you're going to call me an Olympian, but not Trevor. I just hate that part of it. But of course I accept it. And
how do you think Taylor
the
feels?
reality yeah, no.
I mean, consider that, right?
They call him an Olympian, but he doesn't get to know that he got to show people on that stage and prove to himself what he was capable of, which he knows. He knows. We all know he ain't scared of that moment, but
no, you never saw a game he didn't like. The guy, he's a true volleyball nerd.
Oh, for sure. And that's the stage that I played for, and that's kind of why I'm retiring, because I don't see those opportunities coming up for me right now, and whatnot. And like I said, man, like I actually led the World Championships in 2015 in hitting percentage as well. So I've led Olympics and a World Championships in
the clip was ridiculous
in attacking, and then Manhattan's my best performance. My best performances, my best moments, most enjoyable, the most locked in I've been has all been on the biggest stages, and so that's just something that I love knowing when I
Manhattan Beach is like that this
Mm-hmm.
year. First of all, it's a sunset game on Saturday. Which nobody wants to leave. Like some people want to leave early. Like a year before, even ESPN packed up their cameras. We're done at 6, boys, and they ended up missing Bud and Miles against the Taylors, which was match of the year, by the way.
Right.
Match of the year this year was you and Nick. I'm not saying this because you're here, because I'm a hater, and I'm gonna tell you to your face it wasn't match of the year. No, it was match of the year. It was Phil, and Trevor, And this partner switch, you're pissed. Like, wait, can we just trade partners? Can I just play with Trevor this one? And you and Nick, you play with Phil. Can we just trade?
And we have, we were right there too. I'm kind of bummed. Like, it still gives me
shouldn't be. You shouldn't be, because when you have match of the year, it doesn't. The winners don't. Whoever won that match, it means nothing if the match wasn't
that competitor.
If no one remembers the match.
Yeah, for sure.
So like when you have a boxing match, Hagler and Hearns, that was one of the best first rounds I've ever seen in my life. But it takes the two hands to clap.
Yeah.
You're not.
No, I'm super proud of it. And we.
You should be.
I thought our legs were gonna be gone by then.
Yeah, I love get after it volleyball. I love watching a line over hit the ground and watch you hit the ground a half second later, just testing to see like,
yeah.
okay, did I miss by
I'm
this
there,
much?
yeah,
You're
yeah.
not taking one step and saying you got me.
Yeah.
That's boring.
Yeah,
This-
yeah.
No, that was get after it volleyball with Phil and you. I was just all right. I'm gonna shut up because I know you got to go.
No, I appreciate
but
it.
what's one thing you want everybody to remember about you? That's a long one.
No, I mean, what comes to mind is like what Travis says. It's the biggest compliment is just being real. Because, man, we all have this like perfectionism thing in us, but it's going to drive you crazy. Like, none of us are perfect. We're all, if we can just be vulnerable, put others first, take care of ourselves, but put others first and have that compassion. Just be yourself. Be yourself to the best. If you admire someone, if there's someone out there who's just like your biggest role model, be them in the way of they're being their best version of themselves, so you be the best version of yourself like they are. Don't try to be them. That's the cool thing. Just be yourself, and fail, do whatever you gotta do. But like the coolest thing to do, is to just be real.
Wow. I had so much to say. Nope, not saying anything after that.
Let's go watch some ball.
Try. Yeah, we're gonna watch some ball. We're gonna actually run. We're actually gonna run the thing I wanted to run in the beginning.
Let's do it.
Could finish.
A little outro.
We could finish with that. Hey guys, Bourne might love you, but I don't love any of you guys. In fact, no, I changed my mind. I love all of you guys. This guy brought like the aloha spirit, and now here I am.
808, baby.
Here I am finding
Vikings.
myself 808. Let's get a full screen on that one. That's
Vikings.
Bourne. I'm Jason DeBillius, and we, my friends, are out. But we're gonna leave you with this clip.
I tried to say, but no words flow. I tried to save it, but you wanna go. You are my everything I care.